Oh boy. How's it going? This is Kelly the Flicker guy. I think I got everything back working properly. So yeah, we're gonna start this thing up here in just a second. So I'm gonna screen share this. Hold on one second. All right. So y'all can see my screen. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm see how this works out. I want to make sure everything is showing properly before we go through this, but ooh, it's going to be exciting. Are y'all getting my screen? Is the first question though. Can you see me here? On my end, it looks good. I can't tell about y'all. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? Is it working? Oh, so it looks like we are working out here. So we're gonna make this happen. All right, guys, I'm going to start it up. Hopefully, I'm not too loud. You might hear my daughter in the background here running around. You know, Kalia, she's a wild one. But yes, I just wanted to come in and let you guys know and see. I've been surprised, but they dropped the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy Commander deck list. So I was like, why would I not show y'all? Because I'm excited myself. So I was like, let me load this up. Let me share the wealth and we can go through this together because I'm excited. It's my first reaction. I figured this would be cooler than just doing like a regular video. If you got any comments or anything, any suggestions or just any ideas, pop them down in the bottom of the chat. I love to see them myself. Yeah, let's rock out. Let's go and start this precon. Hopefully, I guess going forward, hopefully they're not overpricing on these precons. Like I said, I understand surge foils and all the collector booster stuff, but the regular stuff, because it's standard and this is basic commander, hopefully we can get some standardized prices as well. So we're gonna do some lot of talking here. So let's go ahead and get started. You already know how commander deck precon works. You can see right there that's surge foil ones. I don't have any idea of plan or plans to get that bad boy, but let's start with the Terra deck, the Revival Trance deck. I'm pretty sure we've all seen Terra already. At the beginning of the combat of your turn, mill 2 cards. Terra gains flying until the end of turn. Whenever Terra deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2. When you do, return target creature card with power 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So she does that Lesha thing. She might even do it a little bit better. We'll see. And then her secondary commander is Celeste Rune Knight. When Celeste enters, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards +1. Whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if one or more of them enters from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. All right, so let's get to the real deal here. We're going to actually see the deck. So I'm going to have this pop up on here so y'all can kind of see what it all looks like. So we got Terra, we got Celeste. But let's go and look at some of these other cards. I'm excited here. And we start off, oh my goodness, Cyan Vengeful Samurai. See, the one thing I told y'all about, I'm ready to see some ninjas and some samurai. And it looks like yeah, we got some ninja and some samurai, or at least some samurais. For 6 and a white, that's really expensive. So 3/3 human samurai. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. So if you're doing the mill effect, which comes from Celeste and from, I guess, a little bit from Terra, it makes him cheaper. He has double strike. Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Cyan. There will be no mercy for thee. So pretty basic samurai, cutting twice. I'm not, like I said, I didn't play Final Fantasy VI. Unfortunately, I heard it's like one of the greatest stories out there for Final Fantasy, and I really, really, really want to check it out, but I just can't do the pixel graphics anymore. Hopefully, they do a remake, even if they do little 3D chibi models or something, or just some kind of upgraded version. I'll be a little bit more into it. If not, I'll try to go back and play it. But yeah, this guy is pretty cool. He's a samurai. Didn't know there was a samurai in Final Fantasy VI. A little bit more excited now. So yeah, he's pretty dope. Like I said, double striker. He's just cheaper based on the creatures you have in your graveyard. So if you're constantly putting stuff in the graveyard, there you go. And whenever one or more creatures leave your graveyard, put a +1 count on them. So he gets bigger as stuff leaves the graveyard. Pretty cool. General Leah Christophe. There we go. Part of my English. He's a human soldier, 4 and a white. He's a 2/2. You're a human being before you're a soldier. This human soldier, when General Leo Christoph enters, return up to 1 target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then put a +1 counter, +1/+1 counter on General Leo for each creature you control. That's interesting. Still a little high on the mana value, but helps does what Terra and Celeste are doing, I guess. We have the Interceptor Shadows Hound. Oh, I love that guy in the back there with the dog. That looks pretty cool. Ninja dog, maybe. Some menace. Assassins you control have menace. Whenever you attack with one or more legendary creatures, you may pay 2 and a black. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Oh, graveyard menace dog. He's 2 and 2 black. A little pricey on this special when you cast on them regular, but he does help out other assassins if you're running an assassin's decks. I mean, yeah, the Assassin's Creed, that came out a while back, so a lot of those cards could probably benefit from him. He is a legendary dog, so he could be your commander, and he could easily work in the Altair deck that they came out with Assassin's Creed, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, whenever you have one more legendary creatures, you may pay 2 and a black if you do return him. So he just comes back, he's just a recurring dog or whatnot. Interesting, he's a 4/3, so not too bad. We're going to go with Shadow Mysterious Assassin. He is an assassin, but as a ninja. Oh, he's 2 of the black human assassin with Death Strike 3/3. Throw. Whenever Shadow deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice another non-land permanent. If you do, draw 2 cards, and each opponent loses life equal to the mana value of the sacrifice permanent. Yeah, let's read that one again. Whenever Shadow deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice another non-land permanent. If you do, draw 2 cards, and each opponent loses life equal to the mana value of the sacrifice permanent. So he works really great. So that's him and his dog. I guess that's part of the story. He's an assassin with a dog. I mean, he's a ninja with a dog, but here's assassin with a dog. I'm assuming he's an assassin, but in the game, I don't know. But he looks like a ninja. He looks really cool though. Him and his dog. So that's him sending the dog out, and then you can sack him whenever you deal combat damage, and then you can pay mana to bring it back when he attacks again. Kind of cool. They kind of work off each other. They should have had a partner, and then they really could have worked well together, huh? But that's pretty cool. He has Death Touch, so people are less likely to want to block him. They're not going to want to trade up for him anyways. But that's cool. He has a card draw on him, and then just deal some damage. So that can go really well in the mono black deck too. So you easily can break them down and make your own deck. Next up, Siegfried, Famed Swordsman. Oh, he looks pretty cool. Human Warrior Rogue. He's 3 and a black. He's a 2/2 menace creature. When Siegfried enters, mill 3 cards, then put X +1/+1 counters on Siegfried, where X is twice the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So you see that recurring theme where the graveyard is definitely your value. Recent rumors speak of an imposter that shows up and masquerades as Siegfried himself. If you don't have a Mortal Kombat enchantment card, Mortal Kombat might be a good one if you are planning on getting this deck. So it looks like they want to put stuff in the graveyard anyways. So that could be like your backup win con, you know. It's pretty cool. Siegfried Fame Swordsman. I love the art. Mana cost is kind of high for a 2/2. But when he does enter, you mill the cards and then put X +1 count. So he could technically get big. He can get really big actually, because it does it twice. So actually might not be so bad. And the fact that Terra can bring him back for the free ski makes it a whole lot better. So I like that. He's pretty cool. Who is this Gua Pharaoh Youth? Don't know this character either. He's one in a red 2/2 human berserker. He has rage whenever Gal attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on him. At the beginning of each end step, if a card left your graveyard this turn, Gal deals damage equal to his power to each opponent. At the beginning of each end step, if a card left your graveyard this turn, so with Terra swinging and attacking, bringing something back, he triggers as well and deals damage. So that's pretty cool. I like the synergy that we're seeing in this deck, and that's really good. That's always one of the biggest things about the precons is saying that the synergy is there to go with the commanders. But so far so good. Looks really dope. And then here we have what's this? Go Mysterious Mime. He's a 3 and a 4. There's a lot of 4 costs in this deck. He's a legendary wizard. He's a 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have Go become a copy of another target creature you control until end of turn, except its name is Go Mysterious Mime. If you do, Go and that creature each get +2/+0 and gain haste until end of turn and attack this turn if able. That's kind of cool. You just turn into other creatures. So I mean, you get a Blightstone on the field and have them become Blightstone. That could be fun. You go and that creature each get +2, gain haste. That's pretty nice. All right, going to the next one. So I've been Master Monk. I think isn't this the guy who like slam dunked the truck, the ghost train? I'm not sure. Human Noble Monk. He's a 4 and a 5. He's a 4/3 double strike with Blitz. Bringing back the Blitz mechanic. 2 and 2 red. Discard a card. If you cast this spell for its Blitz cost, it gains haste. And when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its Blitz only. So you only can cast it from the graveyard using Blitz. But I don't think most people are trying to cast that anyways from the graveyard outside of Blitz. So you just like a come in double strike. Pop, pop, pop. And be out. So pretty cool card. Terra can't get him, but he can bring himself back. So it's a give and take. It's not too bad. Strago and Realm, human wizard. Oh, I remember these guys. I have seen something about this character. He's a human wizard, 2 and a red. He's a 1/3. Sketch and Lore. Play 2 and a red, tap, target opponent exile cards on the top of their library until they exile an instant, sorcery, or creature card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this creature. Activate only as a sorcery. That's cool. Going back to the graveyard, it is what it is. So it's an instant sorcery card. Let's see. You may cast. Oh well, I mean, hold on. Yeah. Target opponent exile cards from top of the library, so it gets you a free creature instant sorcery, and you can cast for free if you cast a creature spell this way and just sacrifice. That's not bad. Actually, that's really good. I'll take that back. That's very useful. Summon Esper Vala Garmanda. This is what we saw yesterday during the stream. I guess I showed it off. It's a summon creature with flying and haste. It's a Saga Drake with a 3/3 power. It has flying and haste. It just works like all the other sagas. When it comes in, as each turn when you draw, you get a counter put on it, and then after you put that last count on it, you have to sacrifice it. So it's pretty cool. On the first counter, exile an instant or sorcery card from each graveyard. And then the second, third, and the fourth one has add red for each lore counter on this saga. You may cast an instant sorcery card exile with this saga, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. So it just kind of helps feed you that mana from whatever you got off that first out of that first trigger when from the graveyard. So it's mediocre. Cool beans. Amoro Raging Yeti Berserker. He's 5 and red. He's 6/6, so 6/6/6. Don't know if that has any meaning in the game, but probably it's trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one at random. Other creatures you control get +3/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. Discard your hand, then draw 4. Umaro deals 5 damage to any target. So pretty strong. I mean, it's 6 mana, so it better do something. But it has some. It's the only bad part is at random, so you never know what you're gonna get, and that discarding your hand at random could be a bad thing depending on what you're trying to set up for. Banning the returners leader. Human cleric rebel 1/3. See, rebels coming back. You are this world's last ray of hope, our final hope. This guy has prey. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from among cards in your graveyard that were put there from anywhere other than the battlefield this turn. Let's read it again. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from among cards in your graveyard that were put there from anywhere other than your battlefield this turn. So when you mill cards. Whenever you attack, you may pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So it basically lets you get that draw, that discard and draw, but you get to really cast it anyways. But you have to pay 1 mana. It's okay if it has any special triggers when it comes from the graveyard. I know Celeste has some triggers when stuff comes from the graveyard, so kind of speaks to her. And it's only a 2-drop, so it's borrow, so it's not too bad, not the worst. Also, it's a legendary commander, so it could be your commander if you want to build it out. And then your boy Edgar, Master Machinist, 2 and Boros. Look at that crossbow. He lucky ready to do something. Human Artificer Noble. He's a 2/4. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an artifact spell from your graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters tapped. No problem. Aetherflux Reservoir doesn't matter if it's tapped. Tools. Whenever Edgar attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn where X is the greatest mana value of my artifacts you control. So really cool if you're playing with a lot of artifacts. So can definitely do some damage there. Cool art too. Kefka Dancing Mad. So that's your boy Kefka. I'm hearing one of the craziest villains up there with Sephiroth in the Final Fantasy universe. 5 and Rakdos. Human Wizard 6/6. During your turn, Kefka has Indestructible. Oh, ain't that something? Can't kill that guy. Can't kill that guy. I mean, he costs a lot of mana, so it makes sense. They could have put ward on him, so I'll take the Indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, exile a card at random from each opponent's graveyard. You may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. Then each player who owns a spell you cast this way loses life equal to its mana value. Wow. Yeah, it'd be hard to have him as commander because people gonna automatically kill him. So you're gonna get that one trigger. But at the end step, you exile cards at random. So that's the safeguard, is that it's random. But you have a card exile from your graveyard. So depending on how you build out your deck, if you can control somebody what's in their graveyard, then you can get some pretty interesting stuff and cast for free, and then I lose life. So if you cast a big spell, that's some damage. So yeah, that's something wild right there, buddy. That's serious. So hey, what do I know? That's lovely. So hey, just letting you know. Let's move on to the next one. Kefka is a problem. We're gonna go with Locke, Treasure Hunter, Human Rogue. He's 1 in Rakdos. Locke can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. He's a 2/3. So he going on the cover of Thief. He has Mug, which is a thief ability. Whenever Locke attacks, each player mills a card. If a land card was milled this way, create a treasure token. Until end of turn, you may cast a spell from among those cards. Not bad. That's really cool. Slightly obnoxious. Got a little bit of Ragavan going on, but it just mills the card. It doesn't exile it, at the very least. You mill it, and then you get a treasure. So yeah, very Ragavan, to be honest. Yeah, but then you can cast it. So yeah, that's rude. So yeah, that's Locke though. So pretty cool. And then we have Moogle Moogle Warrior. He's one in Boros. He's a Moogle Warrior. Yeah, that's cool. I've never expected to see that. He's a 1/2 with life link. He has dance, which is one of their abilities they love to do in the MMO and stuff like that. At the beginning of your end step, each player may discard a card. Each player who discarded a card this way draws a card. If a creature card was discarded this way, you create a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. Then, if a non-creature card was discarded this way, put a +1/+1 counter on each Moogle you control. That's pretty cool. Can't he be mad about that one? Yeah, that's interesting. Like, it's not like a super deadly card, but it's efficient. And Kalia, hello. What's up? So she's here, but close the door, baby. But yeah, so pretty cool card, very interesting. No, I can't turn that off. Unless you want to go downstairs. But yeah, so pretty cool card. Sorry guys. Pretty interesting card there, but a very interesting one indeed. So it's a cute card. Probably can do some damage, can do some work because he gets bigger as he goes, but he's not too intrusive. So that's pretty cool. We're going to continue on with the creatures. Then we'll come back to the spells and instances. Next, we have Zetzer, Wandering Gambler.
Yes.
This legendary creature is a human rogue pilot. The art looks pretty cool. Like I said, I haven't really played the game, so I don't know where he fits in, but I have heard the name before. When Zetzer enters, create the Blackjack, a legendary 3/3 colorless vehicle artifact token with flying and crew 2. Whenever vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, flip a coin. Whenever you win a coin flip, create 2 tap treasure tokens. So he's value and he speaks to vehicles. He's a 2/2, so Terra can get him out of the graveyard. Not quite sure on how I truly feel about him, but not being in a vehicle deck. I think in a vehicle deck he's uber crazy. In this deck, maybe not as much, but you can, like I said, you can always break these guys down and make your own deck out of them. So the Warring Triad, legendary artifact creature god. He's for 3 mana, 5/5, flying, trample, haste. As long as there are fewer than 8 cards in your graveyard, the Warring Triad isn't a creature. Tap, mill a card, target player adds 1 mana of any color. So they finally brought back being able to give another player mana. So that could come. This is a god creature, by the way, legendary artifact, which is cool. But you can actually give mana to somebody else. So if you have somebody who's wilding out, somebody like, I need that 1 more mana. It's like, I got you, homie. I'm gonna mill a card. I'm gonna give you some mana to do what you got to do, and I can do any color. So pretty cool little card. So it's basically a slow mana rock. So pretty dope. Let's go down to the next one. We got Sun Titan, which is a reprint. We know what Sun Titan does. He ETBs. When he attacks, brings back a 3 mana cost or less permanent. So 6/6/6. We already know how that goes. Sun Titan. But that's a new art. Yep, some new art.
Yes.
Next we have Archfiend of Depravity, another reprint. 3 and 2 black. This also is a demon, 5/4. We see that a lot in the Kalia deck, so we know how this one goes. But it's a really good reprint to see in a deck. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures they control, then sacrifice the rest. So, like I said, this deck loves the graveyard, so you're going to continue to see more graveyard hate going on there, or stuff going to the graveyard. Pretty cool. You like it, Kalia? Pretty cool. Yeah.
And we saw something like a chug like a movie.
Come move on to the next one.
It's Sonic the movie.
Oh, this is not Sonic, baby. This is we're going Sepulchral Primordial. Oh, that's an old one. That is a reprint also. It's 5 and 2 black. Watch out. I'm trying to what's the name? I'm trying to do the video.
See it too.
You can see it right here on the other screen. Whenever the creature enters, for each opponent, you may put up to 1 target creature from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So that one's a pretty cool. He has Intimidate. That's a good little reprint. Like I said, you plan out the graveyard, so it works perfectly.
Yeah.
And then we have Combustible Gear Hulk, which is another reprint. We know how he goes. I'm not gonna go over all these reprints. I know you guys can look that up. You probably already seen them, so I ain't gonna hold you too long. Just let you see that picture there. Plus, we want to be here all day because it's taking a long time to get through these. Flare of the Hate Bound. He's 5 and a red. Has Undying Devil. Whenever this creature or another creature enters from your graveyard, it deals damage into its power to any target. Not sure if that one's a reprint or not. I don't think that one is. Pretty. It might be. Ruin Grinder. He's 5 and a red. When this creature dies, each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. That is definitely a reprint because I remember that one as well. So these are your reprints. Priest of Fell Rights, also a reprint. Solemn Simulacrum, but I love the art for this one. That's actually using those robot mechs. That's from the game. It's pretty cool. Angel of Ruin, beautiful art. Like I said, we're gonna really just kind of taking the art on these on the reprints. Palace Jailer, that's a soldier there. Morbid Opportunist. That's a really cool art there. Great people here. You can trust everything they say. Zozo Resident. Pitiless Plunderer. That's a good reprint in this deck. Stitcher Supplier. Also another good one.
I want to say something.
What do you want to say, Kyle?
Well, do you know the movie Sonic
No, we're not talking about Sonic. One day they'll have a Sonic the Hedgehog Secret Lair, but not today. We're doing Final Fantasy. Stitcher Supplier. That's what's called when this creature enters or dies and mill 3 cards. So that's another good one. Anger is a really good reprint because you want that haste. I love the art because they're using the little Bomba fireball creatures from the game. Meteor Golem, really cool reprint. Milliken. Thank you, baby. That is a cool construct. So yeah, some cool creature reprints. Let's go back up here to the instance. The instance Esper's to Magicite. This has that Kefka art on it. Kefka is too crazy. It's an instant 3 and a black. Exile each opponent's graveyard. Then when you do, choose up to 1 target creature card exiled this way. Create a token that's a copy of that card. So if it's an artifact, and it loses all other card names or card types. Sorry. Come to me, my Magicite pretty. Come and help me build the Magicite Empire of Kefka. So that was cool. Just a little graveyard hate, and you get a little value out of it. So not the worst, not the best. Bedevil is a good little reprint. Destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Laughing Mad. That is definitely a Kefka card. 2 and a red. It's an instant as additional cost to cast a spell. Discard a card. Draw 2 cards. Has flashback for 3 and red. So it's basically it's almost a reprint of I forgot what the other card was that Thriller Possibility. Except for like 1 more mana on the flashback and on the actual casting cost. Yeah, the big score is reprint there. Look, I finally found it. The legendary treasure that can undo death itself. Crackling Doom, another reprint with some cool art there. Mortify, also another reprint, strong reprint. For the sorceries, we have Rejoin the Fight. Mill 3 cards and starting with the next opponent in turn order. Each opponent chooses a creature card in their graveyard that hasn't been chosen. Return each card chosen this way to the battlefield under your control. Yeah, Snort. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards. Then Snort deals 5 damage to each opponent who discarded their hand this way. Oh, wow. With a flashback of 5 and a red. So that was cool. Another will card. But it's a choice. They're not forcing people to mill their hands anymore. But not too bad. Tragic Arrogance. 3 and 2 white. Now this is a reprint. It's just a little board white. Each player choose from among the permanents that player controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker. Then each player sacrifices all other non-land permanents they control. Reanimate, which is an amazing reprint in here. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose life equal to its mana value. Rise of the Dark Realms, another good one, but cool art. It's a cool reprint. This normally has Liliana on it, but now it has Terra and the Gang. That's pretty fire. You can't destroy everything. People will always have dreams. Terra Branford. Legions to Ashes, another reprint. I'm raring to go. Can't be leaving everything up to you, whippersnappers. Strago Magus. Ruinous Ultimatum. Yeah, they had to put that one in there, right? I mean, that's nice. It's Kefka on there. This flavor win there. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. This little hamlet has too much boring and not enough burning. Torch everything. So yeah. You have Night's Whisper and you have Stitched Together. Pretty cool reprints there. And the lands, I'll let y'all kind of take a look at the land base. I think everybody has their idea of what a good land base is. You kind of know what you need to kind of go through it. So we'll just take a quick gander at it and then kind of move on from there. I am not the bearer of what land bases you need in the deck. And then finally, we'll move on to the artifacts. Coin of Fate is 1 and a white. When this artifact enters, surveil one. I just realized we haven't seen many white cards. Most of the cards in this deck seem to be Rakdos in the red and black range, except for a couple of heroes we saw earlier. Pay 3 and a white, tap, exile 2 creature cards from your graveyard, sacrifice this artifact. As an opponent chooses one of the exile card, or an opponent chooses one of the exile cards, you put that card on the bottom of your library and return the other to the battlefield tap. You become the monarch. So random monarch. I think that's the first card we've seen on this one that has monarch. So very different, kind of unexpected. We have the Falcon, which is the ship from the guy. The airship restored 2 and a black legendary artifact vehicle. Has flying. It's a 4/3. Whenever the Falcon deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. When you do, return to a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Pay 4 and a black. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So that's cool. You can always bring it back, but you can use it to get other creatures. So attack ship. Interesting. Key to the Cities, a cool reprint. Phoenix Down. Oh, no, that's classic Final Fantasy. No, excuse me, classic Final Fantasy is 1 white. It's an artifact. 1 and a white. Tap, exile this artifact. Choose 1. Return target creature card with mana value 4 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. Exile target skeleton, spirit, or zombie. Because the flavor of Final Fantasy is if you didn't know, if you weren't aware, you can actually heal zombies and it'll do damage to them rather than actually healing them. Of course, you can use a cure spell on yourself to heal yourself, but if you use it on zombies and skeletons, it kills them. So it's pretty cool. A feather with the power to to revive those who have exhausted their strength. So I was wondering when the Phoenix Down was going to come. Glad to see it there. That's cool. Got your Arcane Signet with some art. Got your Commander Sphere, your Mind Stone, your Soul Ring, Swiftfoot boots. Oh, look at the little princess boots. Look, see those, Kali? Yeah, got little princess shoes. That's more your flavor right there. I know you like that one. We have Talisman of Conviction. Let's see. Talisman of Indulgence. Cool art. And we have Wayfarer's Bauble. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, and that seems to be the deck there. And here's the tokens. I'll let y'all take a quick gander at those because it is some really cool art on the tokens. And then there's the Blackjack and the Monarch token. Like I said, so we only got 1 card that does the Monarch. I'm not quite sure why they put that in there, but we'll go with the flow. All right, going to my next deck, the final, no, not the final deck, but my favorite deck, the Limit Break deck. Are y'all ready for this? Final Fantasy Cloud. Dun, 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 dun. We've seen Cloud many a times. I don't think I need to go over this, but here we go. We'll read it. Here we go. It's 2, a red, green, and a white. He's a human soldier mercenary. He has haste. He's a 4/4. When Cloud enters, attach up to 1 target creature equipment you control to it. When Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then if Cloud has power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. So he is like leveling up and getting big and swinging at you. So he's going to be a monster. I'm going to build a deck because I like aggro. And I love Cloud.
Even
so,
me.
Oh, yeah.
I build it.
You going to build it? Cool. We'll play together.
And then I have one.
I appreciate it. And then the secondary commander is Tifa, martial artist. She's a little bit cheaper than Cloud, but she gets just as crazy. She's 1 and Naya. Is human. She's a human monk, but that's a 4/4. She has melee. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 to end the turn for each opponent you attack this combat. Which pretty much if you attack each opponent, she's going to become a 7/7, which is very relevant. Watch this here. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control with power 7 or greater deal combat damage to a player, untap all creatures you control. If it's the first combat phase of your turn, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. She is going to punch again.
Me?
Tifa is going to punch again. If she punches you the first time, she's going to fight back. She got 2 hands. Pop, pop. That's how she does it. She is a fighter. Cool card. All right, so let's check out this deck, though. What do the deck do? So as we see, it's Cloud. we see Tifa. We got Sid, Free Flyer Pilot. He's one in a white. This is a Sid of the deck of the set. This is the first time I was ever introduced to Sid, so he has a place in my heart. I'm Sid. That's who the we can't say it for censorship. I am. Now just let me handle it. He's a 2/2 legendary human warrior pilot. Equipments and vehicle spells you cast cost one less to cast, which is really cool. He has jump, which is a dragoon ability. Keep that in mind. During your turn, Sid has flying. Pay 2 and tap and return target equipment or vehicle card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's really cool. He just brings back some resurgence from the graveyard, and he stays in the air like a dragoon with the flying because he is technically a dragoon type lancer character. So really cool. Glad to see him in the game. So it's it. I'm expecting to see every single member of the group here. So let's go on to the next one. Yep. Elena Turk Recruit. The Turks are here. Why did I not think about the Turks being in Final Fantasy in the deck, right? The Turks. They are there. They're cool. Reno and Rue, you know they're coming up. I'm excited. Elena Turk Recruit. She's a 2 and a white human assassin, legendary creature. She's 1 and a 4. 1/4. Whenever Elena enters, return target non-assassin historic card from your graveyard to your hand. What is that? Whenever she enters, return target non-assassin historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever you cast a historic spell, put a +1 counter on Elena. Looks like talking alone won't cut it. You're going to have to feel some pain. So she ready to throw some hands. And in the actual Final Fantasy remake, Elena actually put up some good fights. So it's kind of cool seeing her here. Like, not the strongest card, but a definitely welcome addition. We have Head Digger, Hedge Digger, Simra Executive with 3 and a white. He's a human soldier, 3/3. He's a villain. It's gonna be a minute, baby. Okay. Yeah. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of soldiers you control. At the beginning of your end step, create a number of 1/1 white soldier creature tokens equal to the number of opponents who control more creatures than you. So pretty cool. Hedge Digger was never like a big fighter in the game, but he definitely kept showing up and bringing soldiers to the table. So very on theme. Could be an interesting card. Heller Trooper. This is one of the soldiers. Some of the fodder in the game that kind of jump out the helicopter that you have to fight. So it's 1 in white human soldier. It has flying. It's a 1/2. Whenever this creature attacks, another target attacking creature gains flying until end of turn. Equip ability you activate that target this creature costs 2 less to activate. So they try to give them some relevancy by making them cheap to equip. So could be a card you keep in the deck. Could be a card you take out. Just depends on what you want to do with it. But he is a flyer, so that could definitely be useful. Then we have Avalanche of Sector 7. So there's our people. I was wondering how they're gonna get in Wedge and Big. So we have Biggs and Wedge here, and Jessie. She's on the cover. So they got them a card. They're human rebels with menace. They have star and 3 defense. Avalanche of Sector 7's power is equal to the number of artifacts your opponents control. So something that combats what you're doing on the other side of the table. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact they control, Avalanche of Sector 7 does 1 damage to that player. So they're kind of a punish deck for all those treasure makers out there. And if you want to hold on to those treasures, they're going to be pretty big. So pretty cool there. Love to see Avalanche. Kate Sif, Fortune Teller, 3 and a red. The Cat Mogul combo there, 3/3. I knew I was gonna get some Cat Sif, and so I've been waiting for that. I'm friend to one and all thanks to my crystal ball. It has lucky slots, which is their special limit break. At the beginning of combat on your turn, scry 1, then exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a card this way, target creature you control gets +X/+0 until end of turn with X of that card's mana value. So kind of a cool pump spell, kind of a little selection on the top in red. I mean, it fits the theme, fits Cat Sif. If you want them in the deck, keep them in the deck. Yeah. So let's move on to the next card. Summon Kujata, which is that bull summon in Final Fantasy. He's a enchantment creature, Saga Ox with trample and haste. He's a 7/5, so they came with some heat on the power there. And he's 5 and a red. And just like what we were talking about earlier with the summons, they go through they get their little lower counters and then they sacrifice themselves. So they're here for a short time, not for a long time, but they usually have some kind of cool effect. And that very on par with summons. Has lightning. This creature deals 3 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. When it gets second lore, has ice. Up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn. And then the third one is fire. Discard a card, then draw 2 cards. When you discard a card this way, this creature deals damage equal to that card's mana value to each opponent. So if you got some big mana value creatures like that samurai from the earlier deck, that was like 7 mana, that'd be hitting people with 7 damage. That'd be pretty dope. So yeah, pretty cool summon. Wasn't expecting this would have been the Final Fantasy VII deck, but you know, it is what it is, and I like it. You gonna go back downstairs? Alrighty. Well, it's good having you. I'll see you later, baby.
Okay, I'm gonna go back upstairs.
All right. Cool beans. Bye. All right. Next up, we have Vincent. I said we needed to have a Vincent. Vincent, vengeful a toner. I didn't think he'd be mono red, but it makes sense. He's 2 in a red. He's a 3/3. He's an assassin. He has menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on Vincent. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal, yeah. So if you swing in with Tifa and Cloud and taking extra combats and doing all kind of damage, he's just getting bigger in the background. He has chaos, which is his I think it's a limit break actually. Whenever Vincent deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent if Vincent's power is 7 or greater. Yes, it's a limit break. So that's rude. So you swing him with Tifa and Cloud.
I can't find mommy.
Okay, check downstairs. Whatnot. But then you deal the damage, and then he just gets pumped. If they have first strike, he gets bigger and then punches the opponent and then shoots all the other opponents. They're gonna be mad. So that's pretty cool. So him as a standalone actual commander is actually really good too. Mono red, like haste and aggro, do a lot of damage to one player. He has menace, and then he's an assassin, so he got some cool assassin cards you can add in with that. One being I can't think of his name right now. But the mono red trample guy, berserker, who goes on to each person. I think he's an assassin too. I think he might just be a berserker. I might be tripping. I can't think of his name all of a sudden. But he looks like freaking Achilles or something. But yeah, it's neither here nor there. But it looks really cool, really dope. Moving on, you got Yuffie, Materia Hunter. Like all the characters are red here. I'm seeing now. We have a couple white ones, and then it's like all red. Yuffie, Materia Hunter. She's 2 and a red. She's the first red ninja. Woo! Guys, I'm just saying, red ninja has arrived. That 5-color ninja deck is gonna come one day. We're gonna be rocking it out, because I think now they have probably put a ninja in every color. I think now, right? Having a red ninja. So, and she has ninjutsu. Oh, I just read it. Oh, 1 and a red. You know, I'm going to use her in the deck. Whenever Yuffie enters, gain control of target non-creature artifact for as long as you control Yuffie. Then you may attach an equipment you control to Yuffie. So she ninjutsu's in, takes an artifact, especially if it's equipment from an opponent, equips it to herself, and she's stealing. I mean, she's a ninja. This is what she do. She's a thief. She be doing some stuff. And I'm just excited that it's a ninja in red. Oh, man. That is dope. I'd actually almost be entertained to try to make a ninja deck just for her. Just got to get up the commands on one time and then just keep bouncing her. There's some stuff in red to bounce. But yeah, that's a dope one to see. I'm excited. I like Red Ninja, Yuffie. Okay. I mean, her ability isn't the most spectacular in the world, but I mean, if it's the theme of red, she is the first red ninja. She has ninjutsu. Thank you, Wizards. Yeah, keep it authentic. Keep it looking and feeling good, because her other special guest card is going to be of Yuffie. I mean, not Yuffie, of Yuriko. So she's an ultra for Yuriko. So I'm glad to see her with her own card in a totally different color, something unique, something different. You're going to remember Yuffie. So that's really cool. I like it. Next up, we have Lugan Hagen, Wise Elder. Oh, that's the old guy. That's Red 13's kind of person who raised him or whatnot. So it's pretty cool. Legendary human shaman. He's a 1 and a 2. I mean, 1 and 2. 1 and a green. He has reach. He's 1/3 because he floats on a little ball. So I guess that's why he has reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, draw a card. He's a mana rock. Add 1 mana of any color. So he just taps for mana. He's a 2-drop little elf there. Lana War elf. That's cool. I've been thinking if there was anything we could do to help a planet already in misery. So yeah, cool card. Next up, we have Professor Hojo, 1 and a green. He's a human scientist. It's the mad scientist in the game that you're trying to hunt down or whatnot. The first activated ability you activate during your turn that targets a creature you control costs 2 less to activate. So if you try to equip something, it's 2 less to equip. Pretty simple. Whenever one or more creatures you control become the target of an activated ability, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Yeah, so that's pretty dope. Whenever you try to equip something, you get a card draw. So not a fan of Hojo himself, but the card is very useful in the deck, considering that you're using all kind of equipment. So he would definitely be helpful for Cloud in that deck. Next up, we have Aerith, Last Ancient. She's a 2 and Selesnya. She's a human cleric druid. She has lifelink. She's a 3/5. She has raise. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If you gain 7 or more life this turn, return that card to the battlefield instead. Very spicy, very spicy. She uses the raise ability. It is Aerith. She's a high summoner. She is an ancient. She is pretty dope. This card is on flavor. She has a life link. She's healing people, and the fact that she can bring them back to the table is really good. So I mean, just imagine you got Tifa and Cloud swinging, trying to get to the power 7. If you can give them life link, automatically she's bringing back stuff from the graveyard to help y'all on the back end. So that's really cool. Right here, right now, I need to know I did everything I could. You did, girl. You did everything you could. So yeah, that's a good one to see. Kind of excited, kind of happy to kind of see that she's there and rounding out that party. So should definitely be useful. Then we have Barrett, Avalanche Leader, 2 and Gruul, human rebel. Of course he'd be a rebel. He has reach because of that gun. He's shooting everywhere. It's Barrett, and they gave him a little hot top in the 4/4 Avalanche. Whenever an equipment you control enters, create a 2/2 red rebel creature token. So he's leading Avalanche, bringing it to the table. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to target rebel you control. So you can free equip to him or to any of the other rebels you have that you're making throughout the game. So kind of cool rallying thing. They want to showcase his gun through just to reach. I know Wizards not big about trying to do guns anyway, so that's a great way to kind of pseudo say that his gun is there, but not put it out there that he's running around with a gun arm. All right, next up, Red 13. He's 1 in Gruul. Beast Warrior. Red 13, Proud Warrior. He's 3/3. This lion cat dog is pretty dope. Vigilance and Trample. Other modified creatures you control have Vigilance and Trample. Okay. So they're saying do not take him out of the deck because he pumps up Tifa and Cloud. When he's on the field, he's giving them Vigilance and Trample because they're going to be modified 9 out of 10. More so if you're fighting with them. Cosmo Memory. When Red 13 enters, return target aura or equipment card from your graveyard to your hand. So he saved me whatever they blow up, he bringing it on back. Yeah, Red 13 gonna be a problem when you combine them with the other characters. That's all I gotta say. Next up is a really cool one here too. Sephiroth Fallen Hero, 3 and Boros. He's a human avatar soldier, 7/5. He's gonna work really cool in his deck because he has value to feed off of, and this is prior to him going full blown evil. So I'm glad we did get a card of him before he went fully evil, which his other 2 cards are cracked or whatnot, especially that mono black one. So this one's really cool, but it's just because he's not evil doesn't mean it's not as strong. And I was theorizing a commander deck with him, with Eldrazi and colorless stuff. It's gonna be a problem. So let me just read his abilities for you. Genova Cells. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may put a cell counter on target creature. Until end of turn, each modified creature you control has base power and toughness 7/5. So yeah, he's putting free counters on the stuff, whatnot as you're going, and then you just put a little 1+1/+1 counter on all your creatures. So you can imagine having a bunch of little 1/1 little mirrors and all kind of random little small colorless creatures or something like that. And all of a sudden now they're huge 7/5s. Then he has the reunion because Sephiroth will never be a memory. You pay 3, sacrifice a modified creature, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Yeah, he literally you cast it from the commander deck from the command zone one time. You pay 5 mana for him one time, and after that, you're just paying 3 mana to sack a creature and bring him back to the battlefield. Because 9 times out of 10, your deck is probably going to be running a whole bunch of +1 counter stuff, some equipment, and probably if you're real smart, do those XX creatures like Walker Ballista and some Ghost Ancient or something like that, and several other cards. A lot of Eldrazi come in with +1 counters on them anyways as their power and defense. So you can sack any of those bad boys. Boom. Now he's back. That's why I say the Eldrazi works great with him. That's scary. We'll see him later in the future. I'll probably do a deck tech on that one. Let's see here. Bastion Protector. This is a reprint here. Commander creatures you control get +2/+2 and have indestructible. So that's pretty dope. It just feeds in a Protecting Cloud or Tifa, whoever you have as the commander. Squad A will set up here and search for suspects. B will establish a perimeter, roadblocks included. Contain the situation. Bronze Guardian, which is a really good card. Great to see him as a reprint. That art is kind of, I can see it. It's like a little, that's that thing. I think he fought in a tournament or something. It's like a little mecha robot dude. I don't know. He has chain balls on his hands. Pretty cool. Pure Steel Paladin, which is a good reprint. We haven't seen him in a while. That's just a regular soldier, human knight. So it just falls in line with Soldier, which is what Cloud and Mar, the faction they're from. Hellkite Tyrant, come back to some treasures. So that's a cool reprint. Professional Facebreaker. So that's a cool reprint to see with some new art. Those are the thugs that Cloud beats up throughout the story. So interesting to see that one. Armory Automation, that mech that they fight in the game. They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole squad in seconds. Jesse Avalanche Rebel. Going back to a few new cards. Zach Fair. He's a 1-drop. This must be the first Zach. The art is fire, though. Human Soldier. He's a 0/1. He must have an ability that really makes him really cool. Zach Fair enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. There you go. He's gonna save himself. So he's actually technically 1/2. Pay 1, sacrifice Zach Fair. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Put Zach Fair's counters on that creature and attach an equipment that was attached to Zach Fair to that creature. Oh, that almost gives me tears. Because it's the story that goes with that. So Zach died protecting Cloud in the story. So here he basically can make Cloud indestructible. If he has a Buster Sword or a different sword to him, he gives him his +1/+1 counter to make him just a little bit stronger, and he gives him his weapon. Yeah. I mean, if you fill him up with other counters, he'll get those too, but he gives him that power. It's like he's passing on that is good. I like that one. That one touched the feels. I love it. That was really good. So yeah, I like that one. Zach Fair, like he could be a cool commander, but I think he fits perfectly in the deck to accompany Cloud. So that's pretty dope. We're gonna go with Barrett Wallace. Oh, we brought Barrett back. He has a second card, and this one does actually show him with the gun. Wizards. Okay, I said things and you proved me wrong. 3 and a red human rebel. He's a 4/4 with reach. Whenever he attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipped creatures you control to defending player. So he does that whole Annabella thing. I forgot what's that one hasty artifact creature. I can't think of the name of it, but it shoots. a player as well. You're gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain. That's Barrett for us, baby. They just want to give you Barrett. They want to make sure you know he got that reach because he got the gun shooting and he coming for you and he gonna shoot you. They actually got the card where it shoots you. He gonna attack you because he crazy. He is aggro and it deals damage to a number of equipped creatures you control. So, I mean, ideally, you're not gonna have a bunch of equipped creatures. So you're probably looking at maybe at most dealing 5 damage or so, but still pretty fire. Very Barrett like. All right, let's look at some of these instances. We have Cloud's Limit Break. See, I said I wanted a Limit Break card. I'm gonna ride with this one. This is my Limit Break card, guys. I'm just saying, one in a white instant. It's tiered. Choose one additional cost. Cross Slash, which is his basic move. Destroy target tap creature. So basically, it's just a removal for that. So I'm cool with it. Blade Beam, you add 1 mana to it. Destroy any number of target tap creatures with different controllers. So I can kill the whole board's creatures. Well, 1 from each opponent. Or Omni Slash, which is 3 and a white. Added together 6 total mana. Destroy all tapped creatures. Yeah, the Limit Break is here. The Limit Break is here. Let's go. I'm trying to take out creatures in story fashion. The deck is gonna be really cool. The deck is gonna be fun. I like Cloud's Limit Break, and I said I wanted it, and I knew nothing, guys. I'm just saying. I just guessed. I really wanted it, and I got it. Moving on to the next instant. Ultimate Magic Holy. 2 and a white is an instant. Permanent you control gain indestructible until end of turn. If this spell was cast from exile, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. It has foretell. So 2 and a white. And really, there's no reason to not really foretell this unless you need it immediately. So it's not all the way a Teferi's protection, but it's close. It gives those creatures indestructible. And then prevents all damage that will be dealt to you, so you don't have to block if somebody try to get through to you. Because you're swinging on them, they might try to swing back on you. And so, Ultimate Magic Holy. So that's the live stream coming to protect us from Meteor. Great way to showcase that image. Great way to give flavor to the whole Magic game. I really don't want to say, y'all already know, man. Y'all been here. If you watch a Final Fantasy, okay, here we go. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to know what happens to Final Fantasy 7, give me 5 seconds, and then we can go back to the regular thing. But yes, Aerith dies. Yeah. And so she comes back spiritually through the live stream to protect us from having the world destroyed. In spoiler. All right, cool, y'all. But that's our thing. That's our thing there. We're going to go back down to the next one. Live streams Blessing 4 and 2 green. They had to put some green cards in here. I'm seeing we don't have a lot of green cards, which I'm not mad at that. Live streams Blessing. Draw. It's an instant. Draw X cards, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control as you cast a spell. If this spell was cast from exile, you gain twice X life. Foretell 4 and green. So another foretell card. There's a little card draw on there. I mean, Cloud's already giving you the card draw, so it's not too bad, but it does have life gain attached to it, so it could be useful. And it's flavor rich. We have Clever Concealment, which for me, I've been wanting to reprint of this card. I need another copy of this card. So to be in Final Fantasy in the Final Fantasy 7 deck is perfect. Clever Concealment, and I love this art with Cloud when he dressed up for can I remember that dude's name? Cornelio. They basically snuck in as women to be ravaged by this guy. And yeah, the whole you got to play the game to see what really how it really goes down. But you got to see Cloud in the dress. They showed us that Cloud can be pretty as a girl, and they did a knockout job of showing Aerith in her beautiful dress, and even Tifa in another knockout stunning dress. Yeah, Clever Concealment, great reprint, is dang near better than Teferi's Protection. It's harder to retrieve from your graveyard because it's a 4-drop. Whereas with Teferi's Protection, it's a little bit easier because of it being a 3-drop. But it has to convoke any number of target non-land permanents you control phase out. It's beautiful. Chaos Warp, cool reprint with some chaos image on there. I'm getting less human. Vincent Valentine. So that's Vincent turning into his monster. We have Dispatch is another one. I'll take the chopper. The bikes are all yours, Cloud. Barrett Wallace. So this is from that in the scene of the first chapter of the game, or the first disc of Final Fantasy, when they're escaping Shinra. And yeah, tap target creature. But more like what's going to happen is with the metal craft, if you control 3 or more artifacts, exile that creature for 1 white. And that art is beautiful. Cloud is slicing through some things. So beautiful job there. Love these instances. Going to the enchantments, not a lot. Only 2 here. We have Soldier, Military Program, 2 and a white. Enchantment at the beginning of your turn of combat on your turn, choose one. If you control a commander, you may choose both instead. So we're bringing that back. If you have your commander or a commander, you get to choose both. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 soldiers you control. So that allows you to put those counters on Cloud as well if he's your commander, as well as the soldier that you made. So that's kind of cool. Cool to look out. Not like but it's at the beginning of each combat. So let's keep that in mind. So it actually gets good over time. So great value to keep making you soldiers and to just keep getting stronger. So pretty cool there. Pretty awesome card to have in. But those are like Shinra soldiers. And then we have Furious Rise. You guys are worthless, but my proud creation is a sure thing. Furious Rise is 2 and a white. 2 and a red enchantment at the beginning of your end step. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until you exile another card with this enchantment. So that's pretty much going to trigger like every turn if you're using Tifa or Cloud, because they're both 4/4s. So you're going to get that card exiled. So just another card to play throughout the game. It's just that crazy chaos, red kind of drawing, the impulse drawing, but it doesn't necessarily go away unless somebody gets rid of that enchantment, which in this deck, it looks like they're going to have a lot more stuff they're going to want to remove rather than that enchantment. So it's probably going to be a safe bet to kind of keep it there, unless you exile something really cool and people see it and they're going to be like, I got to get rid of it. All right, sorceries. Ultimate Magic Meteor. Oh, this is Sephiroth calling down the death and destruction to Earth. This is what you saw that live stream protecting. 5 and a red. Sorcery Ultimate Magic Meteor deals 7 damage to each creature. If this spell was cast from exile, for each opponent, choose an artifact or land that player controls, destroy the chosen permanents. Rude. At least it's not mass land destruction. It's only blowing up one of the lands for each person or an artifact. So you have choices. So basically, you're never going to not hit something because you can always just hit a land of theirs. But it has foretell for 5 and a red. So same value, just something you exile on the side and just let it sit there until it's time to call down the meteor. And Sephiroth's going to ride the cloud. He's going to ride the destruction to Earth. It's pretty dope. Austere Command is a cool reprint, just a board wipe there, some cool art with Head Digger and the Shinra president on it. We have Unfinished Business, Reno and Rude and Sing. If you're gonna pick a fight with the Turks, you better be prepared to leave in a body bag. Unfinished Business, 3 and 2 white. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and return up to 2 target R and or equipment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to that creature. This is a reprint if I remember correctly, but it's pretty dope because you can bring Cloud back. He ETBs, equips if you already have an equipment on the field, equip that, bring 2 auras and equipments back from the graveyard, equip those to him, basically making him a super soldier. And he gonna liberate. He has haste, so he gonna punch immediately. So that's a great card in this deck. Vanquish the Horde, great reprint. It just blows the board up for cheaper. Destroy all creatures. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. So yeah, make a weapon right there. Whenever the tough times get tough, you just blow the world up. Massive high density engines is headed towards Midgar. Shinra operator. So yeah, that's when the weapon, ultimate weapon, shot that big old beam and destroyed the Shinra cannon. So yeah, pretty cool. The Shinra shot them with the cannon. Yeah, Shinra's cannon shot them in retaliation to blow it up. But yeah, it did a lot of destruction. It's crazy. Great card, great reprint. Decimate, which is really cool. Progress requires a sacrifice. Learn to live with it. President Shinra. So that's just a useful card. Secret Rendezvous, beautiful. I love the theme of this. They created 4 different ones. which has an image of different characters. Hopefully, in the commander deck, like you never know which one you'll get, and the commanders people get different ones. Hopefully, because they have Tifa, they have Arif, they have Red 13 was in the game. I don't know if he has a card. Hopefully, he does. Barrett and Yuffie. And it's basically just, I mean, it's a basic card. You draw a card, you know, you and opponent draw a card, draw 3 cards. But okay, bye bye. But I mean, it's kind of cute that they did it. And then the game, you never really. It's all based on how you build out your relationships with those characters to see who you end up in the Ferris wheel with. So cute, lovable flavor win there. We got Vandal Blast, Cloud running when they were blowing up one of the sector. Damn, I can't even think of the name of the thing now. I've been too hyped or whatever. But it was one of the plants that they blew up in the story. So that's him running when it blew up. So it's cool. Dangerous part of the job. Don't worry about me. That was when he was just the mercenary Cloud. He came in all cool and hardcore before he kind of went into emo Cloud. We got Cultivate, beautiful with Aerith on it. Just go search for some lands. They say you can't grow grass and flowers in Midgard, but for some reason the flowers have no trouble blooming here. That's I mean, it's on some point. It's beautiful. Got to keep it in deck because it's on par. Harmonize. Only the ancients, only Aerith can save us from Meteor, Cloud Strife. Draw 3 cards. Nature's Lore, good reprint here. The spirits that return to the planet merge with one another and roam the planet. They roam, converge, and divide, becoming a swell called the life stream. Yay, that's cute. Oh, there. And then next we have it is up to the planet. What is it? Rampant growth is up to the planet to decide what is best for the planet, what is bad for the planet. All that is bad will disappear. So yeah, it's just rampant growth. So good little land fetches or whatnot, and then we'll roll back up here. Let's look at the artifacts. As we wind down to this deck, summon materia. Yeah, it's an equipment summoning materia. 2 in green. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Equip the creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance, and tap, add green, equip 2. So not the worst material, but it's what they use, I guess, to help summon the summons they're gonna bring in. I mean, if you're really seeking the cast a lot of creatures, it's very useful. It does give vigilance, but there's other stuff in the deck that gives vigilance, so not quite sure how great this is, but it's a free equip for Cloud if you just cast them prior to the end or whatnot. So could be a good card. Conformer Shuriken, give us some Yuffie love here. Some legendary artifact equipment is 2 mana. Equipped creature has, whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. If that creature has greater power than this creature, put a number of +1 counters on this creature equal to the difference. Oh, equip 2. That is rude. And that is great in the Yuffie deck. If you did the commander deck as Yuffie, I mean, you didn't gotta be, but if you wanted to make a red ninja deck, her and Ragavan could be an awesome pair to kind of just cause mayhem. I actually might just design the deck just so I can say I did it, but not even play it. I don't know. This legendary artifact is pretty fire though. Cause basically if she's going against big stuff, it just gets bigger naturally alone. So that's pretty cool. Like that. I like that one. That's good equipment. Wrecking Ball Arm. This is the modification for Barrett on one of the guns he finds that you can equip to him. It's 2 mana as well. Legendary artifact. They make sure to protect it by always keeping the legendary on it, but they are low cost at 2, which is pretty cool. Great for the curve. Equipped creature has power, base power and toughness 7/7, and can be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Equip legendary creature with 3, equip 7 for all regular other creatures. I don't care what it is, I'm gonna bust them up. So yeah, these equipments are fun. Champions Helm. This is a reprint. Equip creature gets +2/+2, and as long as creature is legendary, it has hexproof. So yeah, so that's a really cool one. Looks good. Love the art. Conjurer's Flail. which is a cool reprint. Last time we saw this was in a secret lair for Assassin's Creed. But basic critter creature gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control, which ideally in this deck could be up to 3 because you're in Naya, official commander or whatever. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. So imagine that cast cloud, equip this, boom, they can't play any spells. So if they don't respond to the ETB and equip, then it's they but Mr. Postman, and you're gonna go ham. Dark Steel Plate, it's indestructible. It makes the creature indestructible, so that's great for Cloud as well. Put that armor on, you're protected. Shinra uniform. I was so proud when I first put it on. I love it. Inspiring Statuary. Oh, I haven't seen this one reprinted in a minute. Man thinks very highly of himself. Barrett Wallace. None artifact spells you cast have improvise. So basically, you can use all that equipment that you're casting, tap to the side, create use of mana to help cast Cloud and all other things. So that's great ramp for somebody like Cloud. If you can turn one Soul Ring into like some kind of the 2-drop equipment and stuff like that, that's just one more extra mana to help get you there even faster and have the mana to equip or cast any other things as well. Pretty cool. Sword of the Animus. Not surprised to see this one here. Don't fight her. You'll ruin the flowers. Don't fight here. You'll ruin the flowers. I am doing this live, guys, so excuse the mistakes. 2, a legendary artifact. That's the same equipment. Equip the creature get +1/+1, but when equip the creature attacks, you may search a library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. So that was really cool. The art is gorgeous. Yeah, some of the art on here just, I mean, that in itself is a flavor win and a reason why you might not even want to break down the deck too much. As I look at this deck, for the most part, I'm gonna get it. And I have so many cards because I have a Boros equipment deck that goes ham that I could easily just throw so much stuff in there to make Cloud like uber strong. But I wanted to have the Final Fantasy look and feel. So I can see myself taking out probably a max of 10 of the cards in here to put other stuff in. But a lot of it's gonna have to stay just because of the art and the flavor. Behemoth Sledge, a crudely reinforced baseball bat designed to beat the living tar out of anything and everything. So Cloud does get a sword in the game that resembles a bat, a spiked bat. So it's kind of cool that we got to see it here on the card. Equip the creature gets +2/+2 and has trample lifelink. Love it, Wizards. Y'all did a great job checking some of your already distinguished equipment and artifacts and enchantments in this, well, not enchantments, but artifacts for the most part from regular Wizards, regular Magic, and actually incorporating into the set. I love it. Arcane Signet. Oh, that's beautiful with Cloud with the material on his back. To put it simply, the knowledge of the ancients is sealed within each orb. That knowledge does not only connects us to the planet, it allows us to tap into her power, Sephiroth. Love that Arcane Signet. That art is fire. Colossus Hammer. Oh, it's Cat Simpson Hammer. Sorry to keep you waiting. It's me. I'll handle the rest. Equip the creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying. Cloud never had flying. That equip 8 doesn't matter when Cloud ETBs. It's a free equipped. And he's gonna be punching for 14 off rip with that, drawing cards and creating treasure. Ugh, nasty work. Explorer Scope. That's Sid High Winds little goggles. Whenever equip the creature attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. That one probably one of the ones that'll come out. I respect what it does, but it's not the card that I'm looking for. But yeah, but love it. It's a reprint. Love it though. Hero's Blade. Ooh, that one when a legend creature you control enters, you may attach this equipment to it. So if you have this on the field and the freaking Colossus Hammer, cast Cloud, equip the hammer via Cloud's ability. This equips automatically. You swinging a 17 power creature, one more equipment, and you more than likely killing with straight on commander damage. And all this is low cost equipment. This stuff is going on the battlefield early, easily, and it's gonna sit. And yeah, that art is cool because it's Cloud getting ready for his limit break. Excuse the voice break. I'm excited. Heroes Heirloom. That's Red 13's little earring piece. This one's okay as long as the critter creature is legendary, has trample and haste. Most like Cloud already has haste, I think. I mean, great. It works great for Tifa. With buffing her because actually it gives her the +2 power. So if you're not swinging at all 3 creatures, she still gets that 7 power. And it gives her trample, which is cool. That one's it can go either way type of card. You got your Lightning Greaves. Love the boots. Tifa's boots. Gone girl. Because of that, just got to keep it because of that. Then we have Mask of Memory. That's pretty cool. That's Sephiroth ripping off Genova's little metal plated piece. I guess supposed to resemble her face. I'm not fully sure. But it's a cool card. Whenever creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw 2 cards. If you do, discard a card. So it does have value on it. If you're going with the trample route, it's very useful. Probably something that might come out for me though. Skull Clamp, which is really cool. That is the head of Genova. Sorry. My mother's name is Genova. The Genova Project. Is this just a coincidence? Sephiroth. And we already know how that one goes. You skull clamp your weakest creatures and draw you some cards. The deck does have a little bit of the create little creatures kind of set up. What creating a little 1/1, so could be a useful card. It's up to you how much card draw you want to do and what you want to do with those soldiers. So, but beautiful art. Your soul ring is just a materia, naturally formed materia, and look at the size of it, astounding. For the Mako energy to condense into something like this, it must have taken an eternity, Sephiroth. And then Trailblazer's boots. The critter creature has non-basic land walk, which is gonna hurt somebody. This is Vincent's shoes. The gate to tomorrow is not the light of heaven, but the darkness of the depths of the earth. Vincent Valentine. So yeah, and then after that, we just got that's that cannon from Shinra though. I told you that the mega weapon, or ultimate weapon destroyed. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There, welcome to the new world order. Cool land. But yeah, that's the land base. I just show y'all so you can see some of the art and stuff. But I don't necessarily care about the land base like that. I mean, I'll take out what I don't like and put in the stuff I do like. But it seems like Wizards has finally caught on and actually started adding pretty cool land bases or whatnot. So some good stuff here already. I can tell by going through it. This is stuff that I would put in the deck naturally. So it makes it to where you don't have to swap out everything. You can keep this cool art that they do put on these lands and not waste it. So glad to see that they're taking the time to give us quality lands so we can actually hold on to them and not have to swap them out. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm not a biggest fan of the tap lands, but like I said, I might change out a couple of things, but for the most part, it may stay. It may stay. All right, and so let's look at the tokens for this one. This deck was amazing. I'm super excited. Love the soldiers or Shinra soldiers. Got the rebels from Avalanche. Cute looking look right there. Yeah, the Foretell card with Cloud kind of looking into the reactors. That's what they call it, the reactors, not the plants, the reactors, reactor plants. But he's kind of get that foreboding look on that's classic, Final Fantasy. Yeah, so that's it. Then we're going to move on to the other deck, which man, it's a lot going on. So give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna take a quick little break, I think, and then I'm gonna come back if they let me. I just wanna, catch my breath up, man. Give y'all a moment to settle in, right? I can do that, right? Can I do that? Give me one moment here. No, I guess they say if I'm live, I'm live, huh? So I don't have the option to take a break. So I think I'm going to take 2 seconds. I'm going to step away, and then I'm gonna be back to knock out the last 2 decks. And I don't think I'm gonna be as crazily excited of the other 2, so I might not wild out too much. I probably will. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back, and then we're gonna go ham with the Counter Blitz deck. I'll be right back. All right, I told you I'm gonna be long, guys. I'm back. Yeah, let's get this started. I don't want to hold y'all forever, but I appreciate y'all sticking around with me, checking me out, and liking and subscribing and stuff too. So continue to do that. Black Magic Commander coming to you. I wanted to do something a little different today because I saw this and I had the time. Yeah, I was like, I did not expect them to drop all the Commander decks in one day at one time. So I'm surprised. Um, I'm glad that they did do that. It gives people early enough time to see what's in the deck, let the value kind of settle, and hopefully allow the resellers or the vendors and the distributors and everybody to make their prices regular. LGSs come with some legit regular prices. Don't price people out of this. Let people play it because I think a lot of people who like Final Fantasy will kind of get into this and really dig Magic, and we'll get some more Magic players. Universe Beyond. That's the whole point of Universe Beyond, right? To get more players, not just to overcharge everybody and make people try to find the secondary market and find all the singles. So that's neither here nor there. Let's get back in there, guys. Counter Blitz Final Fantasy X. So this is the Final Fantasy that my wife got engaged into when we first started dating. I played it, I beat it. I mean, it's the first Final Fantasy that had voice work done. So that in itself was pretty dope. I love the story. Cried a little bit, laughed a little bit. Excuse me, sorry, got mad a little bit. But my wife never finished the game, so she didn't get the full effect. But her first Final Fantasy, so she can kind of liken to some of these characters as well. Titus, Yuna's guardian. He's Bant, human warrior 3/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may move a counter from target creature you control onto a second target creature you control. He has cheer, which is one of his moves in the game. Whenever one or more creatures you control with counters on them deal combat damage to a player, you may draw a card and proliferate. Do this only once each turn. They had to put that stopgap on there, huh? But it's pretty dope. It's just letting you draw a card and proliferating. So pretty good. Works very interesting in some of these with some of these summons that we'll see going forward. So hopefully this deck will have a few more summons compared to the other decks, which only have like one or two. This one should have several. Secondary commander is Yuna, Grand Summoner, and this is what I say, they should have summons. She's one in Bant, a little bit more, but she is broken. They did not put a stopgap on her for whatever reason, and she, with a little bit of pushing, can really blow the socks off people. Grand Summoner, she's a 1/5 human cleric. Tap her at 1 mana of any color. When you cast a creature spell this turn, that creature enters with 2 additional +1 counters on it. There you go. Before we even get to anything else, that's really that in itself is really all you need. So if you read that again, add 1 mana of any color. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, that creature enters with 2 additional +1 counters on it. So they didn't say anything about untapping her or that this mana had to necessarily go directly to that creature. So imagine you put on a Free from the Real attached to Yuna. You tap her, use that blue mana. You untap her. You tap her again, add the blue mana. All the while, you're putting these other triggers on the stack of adding +1. I mean, these 2 +1/+1 counters. You untap her, tap her, untap her, untap her, tap her, untap her. Then you tap and you cast Walking Ballista. Yes, for 0/0, but it comes with all those additional +1 counters, which if you've done that infinite amount of times or 1,000 times or whatever, you get all of those +1 counters onto that Walking Ballista, and you just remove them and shoot the whole board. That, my friend, is a broken commander. Continue. Let's read the rest of her stuff. Whenever another permanent you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, if it had 1 or more counters on it, you may put that number of +1/+1 counters on target creature. Does it even matter? The rest of her card is not as relevant as that first part of her card. Yeah, so I mean, she's a good card. She's a fun card, and if you don't break her, she's still gonna be fun. But who's not gonna put that combo in the deck when it's just like written right there. I mean, a walking ballista is kind of pricey, so maybe you not, maybe you don't do the walking ballista. But even then, if you got free from the real, you still can make a super big creature. So if you have a creature that hasn't attacked yet, that doesn't have summoning sickness and it has trample, you take all those +1 counters and throw it on there. Well, I guess you have to cast a creature, but if you can give it haste with foot boots, lightning greaves, I mean, there's many ways. Or even if it takes you another turn, that creature's gonna have a plethora of counters on it. Or you can just turn around and if it dies, put all the counters on Yuna when that creature dies, and now she's big. So yeah, a crazy commander, but dope, and I'm glad that it's Yuna. So its own flavor. She did a lot for the story of Final Fantasy, so I'm not mad. Let's move on to the deck. Alrighty, here we go, y'all. Sorry about all that. I was reminiscing. We're gonna start off with my favorite here. We are gonna automatically see Arwen, Venerated Guardian, 3 and a white. He is a legendary creature, human spirit samurai. Y'all know how I feel about samurai. And there's one right there, 2/5. I'm happy. Vigilance, shooting star. Whenever Arn attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When you do, exile target creature defending player controls with power less than Arn's power until Arn leaves the battlefield. Play with a samurai. Play with a samurai. This man gonna be attacking and exiling creatures. You can get them back, maybe. But the thing is, you always exile tokens and commanders. To help slow down people wanted to just kill them and bring all these stuff back. So it's pretty unique. You know what I'm saying? As long as you can make him big enough, he's pretty effective. And then with the fact that you're using this in the summoner deck with Titus as a commander, you can always +1 and +1 and proliferate. You know, get him those counters and proliferate. It works out. Makes it really great. They work well together. We have Chocobo Knights. Oh, that one's pretty dope. 3 and a white is a 3/3 human knight. Whenever you attack, creatures you control with counters on them gain double strike until end of turn. Ooh, that with Arn is really good because that makes him even bigger, faster. Only a select few can become Chocobo Knights. You have to be a skill rider who or achieve some combat merit to become one. So pretty fire. Chocobo Knights. Really cool. Gata and Luzu, human soldiers are 2 and white. 1/1 has flash, which is really dope. When Gata and Luzu enters, choose target creature you control. If damage will be dealt to that creature this turn, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Oh, he's like, oh girl, it's that one soldier that a squire or something like that that flashes in and prevents the damage and puts that many +1 counters on it. So similar to that. So you block with a creature to protect it, and then you just put a bunch of counters on it. So not bad. I don't remember those characters from the game. It's been a long time since I played it, so I'm pretty sure there were some followers with Waka them maybe. Lord Jesco Guado, 1 and a white spirit cleric. He's a 2/1. Has flying. At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on a creature this turn, investigate. Listen to me very carefully, for I shall tell you the truth about my son Seymour. Oh yeah, so that's pretty cool little character there that you end up meeting in the game. Here go the summons. We have summon Ixion, 2 and a white. So first strike, 3/3 Saga Unicorn. We love this unicorn horsey man. Just like all the other summon enchantment creatures. Saga enchantment creatures. The first lore is Arrow Spark, which I love how to use the names for their abilities on the card. Exile target creature and opponent controls until this saga leaves the battlefield. So it's just a big flicker. Or like in the case of Iron, like I said, you hit the commander or you hit you hit tokens, so you don't have to worry about them really coming back to the field. The 2 and the 3 lore, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. You gain 2 life. So pretty dope there, just making stuff bigger. So summon Yojimbo. He's another samurai. I talked to a friend about this one, and yeah, he mentioned that I forgot all about Yojimbo. He told me, like, you like samurai. Why you not want to summon? Why would I not want to summon? This summon is making me happy already. It's a 3 and a white Saga Samurai Vigilance 5/5. Exile target artifact enchantment or tap creature an opponent controls. That's you paid them. Here go your lore. Exile that artifact chamber or tap creature like that. Shink shink. It's already over. The second and third lore, until your next turn, creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each of those creatures. It's a nice little propaganda or slash ghostly prison on the field because they your jumbo like I'm standing strong. And then your fourth one, create X treasure tokens where X is the number of opponents who control a creature with power 4 or greater. That's pretty dope. So that's automatic if your whole if all your opponents have basically your possibility, the top for you is 3 treasures. For that turn, which is cool. It almost pays you back for the Yojimbo that you used or whatnot. So that's pretty dope. So yeah, it's a payback. It just gives you a 4 mana back or 3 mana ultimately. So out of the 4, so it makes it worth your time. So cool card, cool Yojimbo. So even if I don't build this deck, I'm gonna get that card and it's gonna go into another deck. It's gonna happen. I might need a couple of them. We'll see. Lulu Stern Guardian. She's blue, cute. I love me some Lulu. 2 and a blue human wizard. She's a 2/3. If you want everything, you'll end up with nothing. She's the emo chick, by the way. Whenever an opponent attacks you, choose target creature attacking you. Put a stun counter on that creature. Cute. Play 3 and a blue proliferate. So she's a proliferate on a stick, which is really cool. I like that. So she becomes very useful, period, just with that proliferation ability, just to be able to do it whenever. Imagine her with the training ground or something. And she basically punishes people who swing at you. So she's almost like a propaganda in herself. It's like she's not making you pay for her, but when you do swing, you're going to not untap that next turn because you're going to have that stun counter. And before you fully remove it, if you have the mana, 9 out of 10, if you're swinging at me, it's off my turn, of course. And so when my turn comes, I'm going to proliferate that counter. I'm going to keep that creature tapped down. So yeah, Lulu is a problem. So luckily it's only target creatures, so you only get 1 on each attack. So there's a bunch of stuff that you're not going to tap down all this stuff, but that's pretty useful. Even in a commander deck with her as a commander, you can make a stun counter deck and really like hurt some people if you can make enough blue mana. Pretty dope. Let's go with Oaka, Traveling Merchant. 1 and a blue human citizen. I don't know why this is a legend. I guess it's a named creature, so I guess that's why it's legendary. I don't really remember her from the game. Say lad, you wouldn't have a bit of guild to lend. She's a 1/2. Tap, remove a counter from a non-land permanent you control. Draw a card. Very useful in this deck when dealing with summons. Okay, I take it back. This card is a must-have in the deck if you're doing summons, because you can use that to remove those lore counters or keep that summon. So imagine that your Jimbo, you keep removing that first counter and you just keep taking out stuff. It's pretty dope. And also if you exile a creature, you can keep it tucked away as long as you keep those counters off of it. So pretty cool. Then we go to Riku, Resourceful Guardian. I was for sure she would be Azorius, but hey, we'll take blue. 2 and a white. She's a human artificer, 2/3. Hey, I've got just the thing. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature until end of turn, that creature can't be blocked by creatures your opponent's control. Rude. Steal. She pays 1. She's also a thief, by the way. Pay 1 tapper, move a counter from target creature and opponent controls onto target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. That could be good and that could be bad. I mean, if you're playing against a counter type deck where they got +1 counters or any cool counters on their stuff, it's cool to take those and put them on your creatures. But a lot of times, people gonna have counters you want to take from them or whatever. So it's gonna make it a little bit rougher. But using it strategically, you can make it work. I'm not down on it. Next card, Summon Balfour. Now this is Yuna's baby. This is her first summon that we see, and she loves this baby. So Saga Drake, 5/4 flying. Has Sonic Wing, which is first lore. Each opponent chooses a creature with the greatest mana value among creatures they control. Return those creatures to their owner's hand. So she's just basically a bounce off rip, which is really good. And then the second, third, and fourth, tap up to one target creature and put a stone counter on it. So she's just, the bird just come through. It's a wind summon. So it's coming through and just tapping on yourself. First, it blows everything away. Anything else you put down, I'm just gonna tap it as time goes. So that's pretty cool. Or something you want to keep resetting to have that happen. So that'd be pretty dope. Maester Seymour. He's 2 and a green human elf cleric. He's a 1/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to Maester Seymour's power on another target creature you control. Pay 3 and 2 green monstrosity X, where X is the number of counters among creatures you control. So pretty cool card, pretty useful. Not my flavor or style of play, but can definitely work. Summon Megas Sisters. This is a haste saga fairy to 5/5. It's 4 and a green. And it gets to choose all these from lore 1, 2, and 3. Choose at random. Combine powers. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Or defense. Put a shield counter on target creature. You gain 3 life. Or you fight. This creature fights up to one target creature an opponent controls. It's such a drop in the hat kind of randomness. It makes it hard because the shield counter is really good because you can get that. It's pretty dope. But the fact that it's all random makes it really tough. And I'm trying to remember in the game when you summon them if their abilities were random. I'm assuming it was, depending on which fairy kind of took the lead. But yeah. Tromel Seymour's Butler, 2 and a green. Elf Advisor, 2/3. Each other non-token creature you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Pay 1 tap, proliferate X times, where X is the number of non-token creatures you control that entered this turn. So if you're playing like a lot of elves or something like that, where you put have a bunch of they have to be non-token elves. So a lot of low mana creatures will go that route. You could proliferate quite a bit of times here or whatnot, or with some flicker because you are in Bant. If you did like some kind of mass flicker with this and was able to keep him on the field, something like I guess Yorian or something like that. Because it doesn't say it has to be sorcery speed, but you can end up proliferating a lot. And do some damage with getting +1 counters and buffing some stuff up. So if you're using planeswalkers and stuff. But yeah. And then next we have Kimari. That art on him looks so different. I see him, I see Kimari. Kimari. Valiant Guardian, 2 and a green and a blue, 3/3 cat warrior with vigilance. Yeah, Runzo Rage. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Kimari and tap target creature and opponent controls. Then you may have Kimari become a copy of that creature, except his name is Kimari Valiant Guardian and it has vigilance and disability. Dang. His rude. He just tapped the creature down and just takes his ability. He does do that in the game where he takes creature's ability. So he's almost like a what do you call him, a blue mage, I guess, in the game. So he's a warrior mixed with a blue mage type of deal. So that's kind of cool to kind of see that here. That could be interesting depending on what kind of opponents you're playing against or whatnot. I mean, him as a commander alone could be very very oppressive, depending on what's on the field played against him. So it's kind of almost like a clone deck. That's pretty cool. It's a good card. Celinda Yevon Acolyte. She is Celestia, human cleric, 2/2. She has life link. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature if its power is less than Shalinda's power. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on Shalinda. Truly, I know nothing of the ways of fighting, but I do know some white magic. So pretty easy little get some +1 counters, lifelink creature. Sin Unending Cataclysm, 5 and Simic. Leviathan Avatar, 5/5, has flying and trample, so a monster. As Sin enters, remove all counters from any number of artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Sin enters with X +1 counters on it, where X is twice the number of counters removed this way. When Sin dies, put its counters Put its counters on target creature you control, then shuffle this card into its owner's library. Cause sand never dies. You can't kill it. It's gonna come back later. So I love the flavor and love the theme there. It is super strong, and the game is amazingly strong and a tough boss fight every time you fight it. And this just kind of exemplifies that right here on deck here. So pretty cool. Waka Devoted Guardian, 2 and Celestia, Human Warrior. He's a 4/4, reach and trample because he throws his ball a lot. So I guess that's why they're giving him the reach, and he is a bull, so he runs over everything, which is why I'm assuming they give him trample. Whenever Waka deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to one target artifact that player controls and put a +1/+1 counter on Waka. So he gets bigger as he blows up your artifacts. Rude. Blitzball Champion. At the beginning of your end step, if a counter was put on Waka this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. So that's pretty cool. So as he gets bigger, he makes everybody else bigger. So he's a great leader that way. So pretty cool. Luminous Brood Moth. So that's a cool reprint. Yeah, the art is kind of hard to see, but it looks interesting. Don't bother going after all of them. Cut the ones that matter and run, Arwen. So I remember those. That was close to the beginning of the game when you're actually fighting his Arwen. When he shows up and he's fighting the insects. They're 3/4. Insects 2 and 2 white. Luminous Brood Moth or whatnot. Whenever creature you control without flying die, turns to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter. So cool. Cool art. I see what they're trying to go with for the theme. Scholar of New Horizons. That's a great reprint. This creature ends with a +1/+1 counter. Remove a counter from a permanent control. Search your library for a plains card and reveal it. If an opponent controls more lands than you, you may put that card onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't, put that card onto the battlefield, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So that's a really good reprint. I don't think that card has been reprinted since I want to say it came from March of the Machines. Not quite sure though. Good reprint though. We have Sunscorched Regent, which is another dragon that's been around for a while, but it's reprinted with new art. Love the art on it though. So that's pretty cool. The Guardian Worm, Everett, the Great Sacred Beast, Protector of Bavel. Then we have Chasm Stalker, another reprint there. From this one came from the that Horrors Precon with the Captain Negathrod or whatever. So pretty cool card there. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1 counter on this creature. When this creature dies, create X/1/1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk, where X is the number of +1 counters on this creature. Bane of Progress. I know y'all know about this one. Seeing always returns for a spawn. So just full on flavor. Forgotten Ancient. That's another one that is a great reprint. Find your piece on the far plane. Lead spirit to the living. Arwen. So that was just on flavor. Generous patron. Look at the crowd, folks. Blitzball announcer. It's an elf advisor. When you enter support 2, yeah. When you put one or more counters on a creature you don't control, draw a card. Yeah, that's another reprint there. Gyre Sage, another reprint with the evolved mechanic. Incubation Druid. So they really took advantage of the elf cards in here to using that race as if they're elves in Magic. But that's a good reprint. Rampant Rejuvenator, Tireless Tracker. Love the art seeing Yuna, Kiyomari, and Titus there. Altered Ego. This one, I think this one probably did need a reprint. So I think it's only been printed once. So that's kind of cool to see this one come back. Fathom Mage, beautiful art. Walking Ballista. Did they really put this? It needs a reprint. It needs a reprint. It's expensive. I think the cheapest card is probably like $40 to $50. But you remember how I told you earlier how Yuna basically is broken and goes off the wall with the addition of Free from the Real and Walking Ballista? They literally just put 2 pieces of the combo in the deck. When we get to enchantments, if they have Free from the Real in there, it's a problem. I guess they said we had to put value in this deck because as I've been going through this deck, compared to the first 2, this definitely has been the weakest, less interesting deck. But when you turn around and put new art, we're just gonna make that value skyrocket onto infinite combo. 2 pieces of the combo right here in the deck. You just incentivize people to go ham. So yeah. Yeah, I ain't got much to say. I mean, amazing reprint. I can't even say awesome reprint. I can say great. It's the best reprint to put in this deck. It's a card that you're gonna get anyways, and they just put it in the deck to make it easier because it was expensive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like I say, more power to you. Now they're trying to make me say I gotta buy all the decks. I don't want to buy all the decks, but I might have to. There you go. Moving on. Grateful Apparition. I love that art. That's a little spirit kid. It's a reprint, but that art is cool. It makes me want to play the card. It's a proliferator. Dust Dust Shell Crawler, another reprint. Don't have much to say about this one. How that was look slow, sculpt Titus. It's also tough. Let me handle this. Reply Arwen. Oh man, I can't get over Walking Ballista. You go. You go, girl. Instant. Going to the instant. Protection Magic. 1 and a white instant. Put a shield count on each of up to 3 target creatures. Armor of Light. Halt physical might. Yeah. That is amazing to say the least. That is amazing. Give me a second. Let me go to chat real quick. Oh man, Battle Fries, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm so late on your comment. I saw you posted it earlier, man. I've been going ham over here. Anthony, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you was able to watch with us too. And Battle Fries, thank you for coming out. Brennan, thank you for showing up. And yeah, that is some awesome Chaos Warp art or whatever. But man, Final Fantasy 6 need a remaster. It needs something so we all can go back and play it. But yeah. I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the Final Fantasies. I played pretty much I have played almost every Final Fantasy prior or after Final Fantasy 7. Anything after 7, I've played. Prior to 7, it's a toss up. I played 4. 4 was cool because they did that chibi remaster. But yeah, we here though. Thank y'all for sticking with me. We're gonna move on. So we move to this deck or whatever. But Protection Magic. Yeah, put shield counter on some stuff. That card, I love shield counters. I love proliferation. That is the next coming of me outside of Flicker. So yeah, the art is cool. Yuna protecting Titus and Kiyomari, and man, putting the shield counters on stuff is great. So they're making me want to get the deck because they have a couple cards here that I'm going to need or want. Next up, Yuna's Whistle. She does a cute little whistle in the game. It's cool. 1 and 2 green. It's an instant reveal cards on top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. When you reveal a creature card this way, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the mana value of that card. That's cool. Look at a creature, put some counters on. So that's not bad. That's cool. Pull from Tomorrow. That's a classic. Love the art. He knew there was no way back home. Back to Xanarkand. Draw X and then discard a card. So that's a good one. Didn't realize what this card is until I saw the Blue God play this in a deck a while back and drew a bunch of cards and yeah, and whooped my butt with it. So yeah, Pull from Tomorrow. Endless Devour, that's a great reprint and Bant. I'm scared of lightning. Let's rest, please. Pretty please, Riku. Yeah, this is before you got the Ixion summon, and this part was so annoying because you had to dodge the lightning. And RPGs, especially old school RPGs, most of them aren't built to truly work with a lot of the mini games. So the button presses, the timing is usually pretty bad, so it's very annoying. So much like this card, Endless Detour, the owner of target spell, non-land permanent or a card in a graveyard puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library. So great card. Destroy Evil, good reprint. Path to Exile. Why would it not be here? They keep that card low because they have to keep reprinting it. This is your story. It all begins here, Aaron. That's in the very beginning of the game when Titus gets sucked up into this world. An offer you can't refuse. That's cute. All right. I'll work, Titus. So yeah, good counter spell. I know normally they kind of avoid putting counter spells in a lot of the precons. I guess they don't want to be annoying, but based off of all this stuff with counters and all that, sometimes you're gonna need to protect something important. So it's good on them for that. I should give them that. Inspiring call. Ha 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 ha. This is the most annoyingest versus cutest moment in the whole game when they're Tifa and not Tifa. I want to, what I'm thinking about. Yuna and Titus, just sit back and just laugh. They're experimenting with the thought because the story for Yuna is so sad. They're really on a pilgrimage to basically sacrifice her to bring peace to the land. And Titus and all the other warriors are there to protect her on their journey as she collects all these summons. And so they actually take a moment in the game to just laugh. And that's kind of one of those heartfelt moments that really make the game truly stand out amongst its peers in the other category of Final Fantasy. So really cool story. Should definitely play it if you get a chance. Going back up, let's go to these enchantments. See what we got here. Summoner Sending. Beautiful moment in the game when they got that whole FMV and you see Yuna doing her little summoner dance. Is so beautiful and majestic. So glad to see they put it on the card. Summoner Sending 1 and a white. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile target creature card from a graveyard. If you do, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Put a +1 counter on it if the exile creature's mana value is 4 or greater. The sending takes them to the far plane where they may rest in peace. So great little addition there. The Spirit Grid, this is where you got to level up in Final Fantasy. 1 and a green enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Unlock ability. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have reach and trample. To activate nodes, you must use spheres. So, yep, just getting bigger. And they reward you for getting bigger by giving you some trample and some reach, which is going to kill you if you use the Walking Ballista and all the stuff with Yuna to buff up stuff and go kill the opponents. It's great. It's wild. Resourceful defense. That's a really great reprint. Mostly used with planeswalkers. I've upset a few people with the ability from this card, but works great with counters as well. +1/+1 counters. So whenever a permanent you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on target permanent you control. For 4 and a white, move any number of counters from target permanent you control onto a second target permanent you control. It's a great way to protect your loyalty counters with planeswalkers. When that permanent leaves the battlefield gets destroyed somehow, you can take those counters, put them on a land with preferably a basic land, which is harder to blow up. And then when you're ready, move all those lands over onto all those counters over onto another planeswalker, and that bad boy. Great reprint. They have some really good reprints in this deck. Together Forever. That's another old reprint. That art is beautiful when you see Yuna and Titus kiss for the first time in that little ocean area or little lake area. Very beautiful, and this card is a great reprint for that. And Exonerable Tide. It's a proliferate card. When seeing attack Xanarkin that day, I woke up in Sphera Titus. So cool art. Works great for what they're trying to do with this image. Fight rigging. That's cool. Little reprint. Cool art or whatnot. The card itself is okay. Hardened Scales, that is spot on. No way this was not going to be in the deck when it starts. I won't be myself anymore. I won't be able to hold myself back. Jet. That's his daddy turning into the monster. So that's pretty cool. Path of Discovery. When a creature control enters, it explores. So another reprint there. And Bread of the Hunt. 1 and Simic. Whenever a creature you control with a +1 counter on it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Think you will win. You not forget who took your horn. Never forget. Byron Ronzo. That was when Kiyomari was fighting the other Ronzos, because he's actually, even though he seemed cool and big in your party, he's actually one of the smallest runt-like people in his clan, tribe, or whatnot. So they kind of bully him up or whatever. So cool. I think that's a reprint. I'm not sure. I've never used that card. Let's go on to artifacts. Blitzball Stadium. Why would we not see this? I think this is the mini game card they were talking about. Blitzball Stadium is X and blue. It's an artifact. When this artifact enters, support X. Put a +1 counter on each of up to X target creatures. Go for the gold. Pay 3, tap until end of turn. Target creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. Draw a card for each kind of counter on it, and it can't be blocked this turn. Yeah, so that's cool. Just gives it unblockable, so it's pretty nice. We can make that work. Next up, Arcane Signet. That's just some new art. I'm a Blitzball player, star player of the Xanarkin Apes. Everflowing Chalice. I mean, if you're proliferating, that works perfectly in there. And then your Soul Ring. Memories are nice, but that's all they are. Riku. Going to the sorceries. Yuna's Decision. It's 3 and a green. It's a sorcery. Choose one. Continue the pilgrimage. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, draw a card. Then you may put a creature card and or land card from your hand onto the battlefield. That in itself is good. It's almost like natural order. So if you're not searching for a creature, find another way. Return 1 or 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. So cool little 4-drop recursion or 4-drop show and tell without giving other people stuff. Collective Effort, that's another reprint. I love the art. That's when they was sliding down to fight Seymour to save Yuna. Pretty cool. Damning Verdict, another reprint board wipe. Yvonne is embodied by eternal, unchanging, continuity summoner. Those who question these truths, they are traitors. Y'all know I can't read. Farewell. They did this for the Doctor Who decks as well. Farewell, such sweet parting. Stay with me until the end, please. So like I told you about the pilgrimage that they were on with Yuna, and like her and Titus got really close. Yuna and Titus got really close. So it was a very heartwarming moment to kind of see them interact or whatnot. And so Farewell works great with that. So yeah, cool card. Promise of Loyalty. That's a beautiful shot. The game kind of opens with this shot. So it's kind of cool to see it on a card. Listen to my story. This may be our last chance, Titus. Each opponent puts a vow counter on a creature they control and sacrifice the rest. Each of those creatures can attack you or a planeswalker you control for as long as it has a vow counter on it. So great board wipe, great reprint. I love to see that card when I see it. Farseek, that's an old reprint. I am on a journey studying the history of our world, seeking its stories and secrets. Mashian Scholar. 3 visits, another good reprint because they were getting pricier. If I give up now, I could do anything I wanted to, and yet even if I was with you, I could never forget. You know, cool, good sorceries. And now we just have the land, so it's just the art. I'll kind of like scroll through those for y'all. Check that out. Check that out. Pretty art as always. Like I said, the actual land base is really good. Wizards stop trying to like take advantage of the land base and trying to charge for everything and realize they should just put it in the decks so people can play the cards, and lands should not be that expensive considering that we need lands to play the game. So, and you want to have a good land base if you're going to be playing against other people. So really great to see that here. Here's the spirit cards, squid cards. This one probably has some of the least evoking. It's only 2 counters, so not a lot of tokens in this deck or whatever. So that was it. So now finally on to the last deck, guys. We are almost done. This has been a long stream, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all taking the time out and checking this out. And I'll probably chop up this stream later. And for the next few days, drop each section of this so people can see it separately based off of what they want to see from each deck or whatnot. So Final Fantasy 14. So originally I only wanted to get the Final Fantasy 7 deck and potentially the 14 deck because I love Final Fantasy 14, and I figured I'd see a Samurai in there. Lo and behold, I've seen Samurai in almost every one of those. Actually, I think I've seen Samurai in each one of those decks. So You know, Wizards, they are trying to play with me right now. But moving forward, we're going to go with my girl, Yostola Knights Bless. She's one in Esper. Y'all know Esper is my favorite color because usually when you're dealing with Esper, you get a little flicker. And hey, that's my namesake. Cat Warlock. Vigilance. At the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Yostola deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. So she's a 2/4 cat warlock. So she's really cool, and it's super easy to actually be able to drain people here to get this ability. So you can't, I mean, it's gonna happen ideally. And then they did showcase that blue Yostola is a 6-drop. She actually allows us to trigger twice. I don't know if you noticed that or whatever. She does that flicker mechanic as well. But yeah, if you have both of them on the field and you dealt that 4 damage to somebody, whether it's yourself or somebody else, it's going to trigger again to draw a card or whatnot. So great card for a commander. Secondary commander is Graha Tia Shion Reborn. He's a straight Esper cat wizard with lifelink of 2/3. Throw wide the gates. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay X life, where X is that spell's mana value. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token and put X +1 counters on it. Do this only once each turn. So they definitely gated it by not letting you just go too ham. But he does have lifelink, which is always cool to help get that life back that you're going to be paying. And depending on what you're casting, you can actually turn around and create a bunch of 1/1 creatures with some +1 counters on them to keep yourself going. And this can be done each turn. So you just got to kind of play out how you want to play your spells, and you can make some stuff happen. You can make some stuff flip. So yeah, pretty cool card, pretty strong commander. I think you can go with him or Yostola, and either one they'll feel different, but they'll be somewhat similar and be able to help each other. So I don't see you taking one commander out for the other. I think both of them will be in the deck regardless of who's commander. All right, let's check out this deck. This deck is probably going to be amazing. So those two there. And then we have Azalea Levelier. That's one of the twins. As long as I played this game from like almost launch, and I've been on and off, I can't get certain names. It's gonna be a lot of names, but I'm probably gonna kill in this one if they use a lot of these characters from the game. So just so y'all know ahead of time. But let's get into this. She's 2 and a white elf wizard. She's 3/2. Partner with Alfinad Levelier, her brother. Told you they're twins. She partners with him. First strike, dual cast. The second spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. So that one's really cool. Second spell you cast just reduces it. So that's pretty dope. Probably honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of built to kind of play off each other. So you cast her first, and then when you cast her brother, he's gonna be 2 less. It's kind of cool, right? Hopefully CMC isn't too high because of that. We're gonna go to the next one, which is Summon God King Mog the 12th. He's 4 and a white. He's a 4/4 flying lifelink Saga Moogle. His first lore is create 2 1/2 white Moogle creature tokens with lifelink. His second and third is whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, create a token that's a copy of a non-saga token you control. Ooh. That one's pretty cool. Whenever you cast a non-creature on spell this turn, create a token that's a copy of a non-saga token you control. So just making more tokens so you can copy your Moogles if you want to get a whole bunch of Moogles. And then you have for the fourth lore, put 2 +1 counters on each other Moogle you control. Yep. So basically just makes all your other Moogles bigger. King Moogle. Yeah. Taru. She's our clothing little elf in Final Fantasy or whatnot. She usually was the one designing your main character's outfits. She's 1 and a white, 0/3 dwarf advisor. So they have them as dwarves. The Tarus. When Taru enters, you draw a card, and target opponent may draw a card. And give him a card draw to other people. Shion's secretary. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if it isn't that player's turn, create a tap treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay. That one's pretty good. Okay, so she ETB. So really, she's only a half of a mana basically, because you cast her and get that one. You get refund on one of the mana. It just can't use that turn. She's great for later in the game. I mean, for the other turns too, if other players are drawing cards off a turn. So she's not too bad. I wasn't too big on the first part of giving card draw, but it works. I can see that working. So not too bad. Good card. Tancred Waters. This is our Gunblade specialist here. He's 4 and a white human warrior. He's a 3/5. He has flash. I love to see it. That's pretty dope. He does come in and save people a lot throughout the story. He has Royal Guard. Whenever Tancred Waters enters, another target legendary permanent you control gains indestructible for as long as you control Tancred Waters. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Tancred Water gains indestructible until end of turn. Oh no, that's nice. Because they did this once with the dragon from Kamigawa. Why can I think of her name? It was the dragon that was basically a part of the Wanderer, and I cannot remember that dragon's name to save my life at the moment. But when she ETB'd, she actually protected a creature as well, but she couldn't protect herself. So with this, it allows you to be able to put a protection on that creature, but at the same time, as long as you can cast something else that's not a non-creature, you can protect him as well, which also would allow him to stick around and allow the other creature to stick around with indestructible. So that's pretty cool. Alpha Nile Levelinger. That's the brother. How you say his name? He's 3 and a blue. So like I said, if you cast her first for 3 mana, you cast him next for 2 mana. So you can technically, if you got 5 mana, you can cast both of them in one go. He's an elf wizard, 2/4. He partners with LSA. He has vigilance. Eucrasia. Whenever you cast your second spell this turn, draw a card. Well, you missed that trigger if you cast both of them at the same time, so your value goes out the window. I mean, if you do it opposite, you spend more mana, but then you get to draw a card. I don't know, whatever. They're pretty cool there, so they can technically be your commanders. You can go into doing blue white or whatnot as a deck if you want to Magic Commander. If you want to do a twin style deck, they're just value, reducing mana cost and drawing cards on your second spell. So they work pretty cool together on the field. And then you have Hermes, Overseer of Elps, 3 and a blue. Oh, the Wizard. He's a 2/4. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying and vigilance. Whenever you attack with one or more birds, scry 2. It's a decent little wizard guy, I guess. Then next we have Haris Vulgar of the First Blood. That's that dragon in the game. I guess that's how you said the name. It's wild. I told you the name's gonna be hard to pronounce. 4 and a blue. Elder Dragon has flying, vigilance, and ward 2. Brought back ward. The 5/5. Shiva's aid went. That's right. This is the creature I think that became Shiva, or had Shiva as like a friend. I don't know. It was something in the story with Shiva and stuff, but it was pretty dope. It was from Heaven's Ward, I think. Shiva's a when that dragon enters, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature gets +1/+0 to end of turn. It can't be blocked this turn. So give me some unblockable. Interesting little card. Fandaniel Teloforio Asian. So I told you, I don't know what happened with Final Fantasy 14. They just like, let's make all the names hard. I wait till they actually do cutscenes that have spoken dialogues, like hear what the names sound like. It's crazy. 4 and a black is 4/5 Elder Wizard. I don't think we've seen an Elder Wizard before. I like the concept though. I like the concept. So hopefully we might see that some more in the future. Elder Wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, surveil 1. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent may sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent who doesn't loses 2 life for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Ooh. So it's kind of like Braids, the Black Braids, where she's telling you to sacrifice some stuff or you're gonna take some damage. So him as a commander, it's 5 mana is expensive. Braids is only 3. He can do some definite damage on the backdrop or whatever by being on the field and sacrificing stuff. So yeah, that's pretty unique because 2 life for each instant and sorcery. So if you play a lot of instant sorceries and they're in your graveyard, he gonna hurt some people. He gonna force them to actually sack some stuff. So that's pretty cool. Then we have Ardbert, Warrior of Darkness. I think this is the guy who's basically like a rival of yours because he was from the original, I think, Final Fantasy that got canceled out, and they kind of brought him back as like the original Warrior of Light or whatever, or Warrior of Darkness. That's right, because he ends up fighting you in the game. So you're the Warrior of Light, he's Warrior of Darkness. Yeah, reflection of each other type of deal. Yeah, he's one, and Orzhov, he's a Spirit Warrior. He's 2/2. Whenever you cast a white spell, put a +1 counter on each legendary creature you control. They gain vigilance until end of turn. Whenever you cast a black spell, put a +1 counter on each legendary creature you control. They gain menace until end of turn. So that one's pretty cool. It makes them a 4/4. If you cast an Orzhov spell, works the same for Yastola and Graha if you were to play them at the time, which would give them the menace and the vigilance. Especially with Graha because it has lifelink, makes it easier for them to swing in and get some damage. So that's pretty cool. Pretty good card. Always we took the burden of fighting upon ourselves. That's what heroes do, isn't it? And then we have another reveal that they showed beforehand. Emmett Selch of the third seat. He's 2 and Demir. He's an elder wizard. I saw this before and I did not catch that he was an elder wizard. I'm loving that. 3/4. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast. Whenever one or more opponents lose life, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If that spell will be put into your graveyard, exile it. Do this only once each turn. So they make sure to keep that in control. Einstein, Stenian Verlinu. He's 2 and white and a black. Elf Warrior, aka a Dragoon. He's a 3/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1 counter on Estinian. It gains flying until end of turn. At the beginning of your second main phase, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of your opponents who were dealt combat damage by Estinian or a dragon this turn. See, Dragoon, the dragons. So they speak to him. Oh man, but Estinian is really cool. I think he actually was an ally to you at one point, and then he becomes a villain, maybe somewhere around there. Like I said, it's been a while since I played Final Fantasy 14, and it's a lot, and I did not beat that game. I want to. I'm definitely planning on going back at some point. This is really cool. But yeah, that's an interesting little card. It's an Orzhov Warrior, which is nice, kind of unique in that aspect. And then he does feed off of playing non-creature spells to give him that flying and +1 counter. So it could be very instrumental to combat. You have Hildebrand Manderville. That guy, you just gotta stack it on there real quick. You gotta do it. It's mandatory. The character himself is such a joke character, but he's fun. He's a human detective, 1 and white. 2/2. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1. When Hildebrand Manderville dies, you may cast it from your graveyard and as an adventure until the end of your next turn, and you can use them as an instant. Send them on an adventure as a Gentleman's Rise, 2 and a black. It's an instant. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token, which actually is a zombie token of him in the same exact pose. It's great. So basically, if he is your commander, you never pay commander tax for this guy. He allows you to basically just kind of blanket put in zombie tokens and keep it going. And even if he's not your commander, just being in the deck, I mean, you basically never dies. It shows back up. He always shows back up in the game. So it's very on theme, very much flavor. Love the concept of the card. Creel Baldizian. He is Azorius, a dwarf wizard with lifelink. He's a 2/1. Trace Aether. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may return target creature card with mana value equal to that spell's mana value from your graveyard to your hand. Do this only once each turn. Oh, that's pretty cool. Just a little bit of recursion, whatnot, in Azorius. So not bad. Moving on. Lise Hex. This is a dancer from Dancing Monk in the game. 1 and Azorius, a human rebel monk, 2/2. She has prowess, so welcome back, prowess. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, which is really cool. Pairs very well with that sister. Was it Alice? As long as you've cast 2 or more non-creature spells this turn, Least Hex has double strike. So the more spells you cast, the bigger and more powerful she is going to become. So it's really good. Really cool card. Papalymo Toto Limo is Orzhov, Dwarf Wizard, 1/2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Papalymo deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. So he just works in tandem with your commander. If you're running your Stola, pay 4 and tap, sacrifice Papalymo. Each opponent who's lost life this turn sacrifice a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Oh, the control there, buddy. The control. If you have a way to recur him to put him back on the field, to get him back and keep him sacrificing stuff, it lets you control the board. That's actually really good. Next up we have Uranger Argarilt. He's an elf advisor. He is also Azorius. You see the mana curve on a lot of these other creatures are very low. All the fighters are that 4 and higher, and then all the supports are really low on CMC. It's pretty cool. It balances out the deck. It's a 1/3. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 life. Draw Arcanium. Arcanium? Tap, look at the top card of your library. You may exile it face down, or play Arcanum. Tap until end of turn. You may play cards exile with your Ranger. Argaret spells you cast this way cost 2 less to cast. So with discount spells. But it is kind of slow because of the tapping. Archmage Emeritus, so that's your reprint. Oh, some pretty art though. I mean, I love my guy, Archmage Emeritus, the regular art, but this is cute. I like that art. She looks really cool. Yeah, when you cast a copy of instant sorcery, draw a card. Just value. If you are ever to become a capable astrologer, you must believe in the path laid out before you and your power to read it, follow it, and ultimately control it. Pretty cool from a Heaven's Ward. We have Torrential Gearhulk, which is a cool reprint to see there. Murderous Rider, so that's a cool looking reprint. We haven't seen that card since I think the original Eldraine. So that's pretty cool. Baleful Strix. Now that's a necessary reprint because we haven't had one of those in a while. Not that it's an expensive card. It's just a little bit of a harder to find card because so many people do use it in decks. But it's really good. Hypnotic Sprite. Just an interesting reprint. It's a fairy card or whatnot. It had its run when the adventures first came on the scene or whatnot. So it's not a bad card. Just gives you a body after you counter a spell. So cool. Less reprints I noticed on the creature side. We'll see about everything else. Champions from Beyond. When this enchantment enters, create X/1/1 colors hero creature tokens. So this is a new card. It's an enchantment. It's X and 2 white. Light Party. Whenever you attack with 4 or more creatures, scry 2, they draw a card. Full Party. Whenever you attack with 8 or more creatures, those creatures get +4/+4 until end of turn. So that's if you're building up a bunch of heroes. Then yeah, you got some stuff to swing with, and they get pumped. So it's good if you're doing a tokens deck. Go wide deck. Observe Stasis. 3 and a blue. It's an enchantment aura. It has flash whenever enchant creature and opponent controls. When his aura enters, remove enchanted creature from combat. Then draw a card for each type creature his controller controls. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and can't attack or block. So it's just a way to turn off a creature, but for 4 mana, that is pricey. Eye of Nidhogg, 2 and a black, legendary enchantment aura. We don't see many legendary enchantments. I don't think we ever seen legendary enchantment. There's a couple. There's the one with Teferi that does a flicker. So it's a few, but I think this might be the first aura that I've seen. Enchant creature. Enchant creature is a black dragon with base power and toughness 4/2, has flying and depth touch, and is goaded. When Eye of Nidhogg is put into a graveyard for the battlefield, return to its owner's hand. No, go. Bye. I'm almost done. Sorry about that, y'all. The interruptions there. We ain't got time. We're trying to finish this right. Okay, let's call it. But yeah, this one, yeah, I mean, it brings it back to your hand. So that's really cool. But but it does give golden and flying to that creature, which as long as you can end it before it comes to only just you and the other player, very effective. Then you got Authority of the Consuls. That is a reprint there. Creature your opponent's control enter tap. Whenever creature an opponent controls enters, you gain 1 life. Propaganda, another reprint. Bastion of Remembrance, another reprint if you're doing Aristocrats. This deck seems to be a little bit more disconjointed compared to some of the other ones. I'm not quite following what it all is doing because it seems like it's trying to do a little bit of everything, but not fully committed to one thing. Let's go here. Artifacts. We're gonna do Dancer's Charm. Pretty card. It has 3 and a white. Artifact equipment has job select. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token, then attaches to it. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has lifelink, and other commanders you control get +2/+2 and have lifelink, and is a performer in addition to its other types. Krishna, equip 3. So those are the blades that you get for being a dancer or performer, and so that's what it's creating there. So makes a cool little fighter. Get +2 and +2 and have lifelink. Okay, just bust up some stuff. Not too bad. Blue Mage's Cane. So this will be a cool one. It's 2 and a blue. Artifact equipment with job select. Equipped creature gets +0/+2. Is a wizard in addition to its other types and has whenever this creature attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from defending player's graveyard. If you do copy it, you may cast a copy by paying 3 rather than paying its mana cost. Spirit of the Wallaki, equip 2. Now that can be very. So if you're in a mill deck, milling other people, this equipment actually would be very strong because if you can get somebody to mill extra turn, get somebody to mill something that bounces stuff, you literally can play it for 3 mana and blow up or do whatever you need to do with these instant sorceries. That's pretty cool. That's a good card in certain situations. Not too sure how it works in this deck, but in other decks, it could be really, really broken. Astrologians, Plain Sphere. Yeah, that is 1 of the blue equipment with job select. Equipped creature is a wizard in addition to its other types and has when you cast a non-creature spell and whenever you draw your 3rd card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Very basic. Deanna, equipped 2. It works, I guess. Reaper Scythe. That one has job select as well. At the beginning of your end, it's 2 in a black. At the beginning of your end step, put a soul counter on this equipment for each player who lost life this turn. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each soul counter on this equipment and is an assassin in addition to its other types. Death Sickle, equipped 2. So it's okay. It's not too bad. Now, the one thing I will say, I know these equipments aren't the best of equipment. It's not cloud level equipment. But these equipments are giving 1/1 bodies. So imagine if because you are in white, so you can use stuff like teleportation circle and things like that, and you're in blue as well. So if you're flickering these artifacts, you can make them come back and create more bodies. So this is why you're getting some of the downplayed abilities of this, because it's similar to what they did with the rebels back in was it March of the Machines, I think. Whenever it was, when they had the rebels come onto the equipments, on those modified equipment. So it's similar to that. So got to keep that in mind. We have Acromancer's map, Archaeomancer's map, which is a good reprint. Just have to go get some lands. Coveted Jewel, good. It's always good to see that. I love Coveted Jewel. It's not everybody's friend. I don't know if it's the best idea to put it in this deck. This seems like the least aggro deck out there, and it has a lot of smaller bodies. I guess they're saying because you have chump blockers, you can block, but if you don't block a creature that's coming in at you, Coveted Jewel will be taken. And yeah, it's kind of hard against flyers. So, and I didn't see a lot of flyers in this deck, so that could be a detriment to your gameplay. Tome of Legends, not a fan of this reprint. White Ariel Sight, it's 2 and 2 white. Whenever this artifact enters, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. It taps for 1 white. It's a rock that has an effect because it pays you back for that 1 mana, that 1 extra mana you're using. But by you exiling a null and permanent, it kind of makes people want to get rid of that. So depending, especially if you get something really good up under it. So I don't know if you want people to automatically target your mana rocks, but I guess it keeps you. It kind of takes care of two things in one: a mana rock as well as a removal spell. She gave her life that we might defeat. She gave her life that we might defeat the Ashians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Oh yeah, that's when the that she was like a fighter or whatever. She ended up dying in the process. Yeah, it's cool. Sages not null lifts. One in a blue artifact equipment has job select. Equip the creature gets +1/+0. Has whenever this creature attacks, untap target attacking creature, and is a cleric in addition to its other types. Hagnia, equip 3. Creature gets +1/+0. Has whenever this creature attacks, untap target attacking creature. It's okay. It's okay. Arcane Signet, Relic of Legends. That's a good reprint. Soul Ring, Talisman of Dominance, Talisman of Hierarchy, Talisman of Progress, Thought Vessel. They know you're gonna be filling your hand up, and they're trying to make sure that you have a lot of mana to cast stuff. Time for the instances. Transpose 2 and a black. It's an instant. Draw a card, then discard a card. You lose 1 life. If this spell was cast from your hand, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. Rebound. That rebound is pretty good. Draw a card, then discard a card. So that's for black, that's really, really interesting. You lose 1 life. This spell was cast from your hand. Create a 0/1 black wizard token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell. This token does 1 damage to each opponent. So it lets you do some damage to other people. It's not the biggest thing. In that Kuja that was in red and black, he makes those wizards. I think in combination this card and him, I think it works out really well. Because just more mana drain. More life drain. And Dig Through Time. It's a Delve card. It's really good. Nice little reprint. If you're trying to draw cards. Sublime Epiphany, another reprint that can be very powerful. It's cool art on that one. Lethal Scheme, another reprint that's really, really nice for removal because you want to spend mana for. Void Ren is a very good reprint because we haven't seen that one, I think, since Capenna. So yeah, it's very, very useful piece of removal because it can't be countered. Swords to Plowshare, that's another one that they have to keep reprinting so the price don't go up. The refreshing caress of the wind, the soothing whisper of the waves, how liberating. Beautiful art. Into the Story, 7 mana, okay, 5 and 2 blue, has a crystal on it. Hear, feel, think. Oh, that's like one of those big dialogue things in the story where the crystal says that I think it's the angel or whoever she is. I don't know. I know they start off with that. The crystal always says it. Something. This spell costs 3 less to cast if an opponent has 7 or more cards in their graveyard. Draw 4 cards. So that's 3 less. That's gonna be 4 mana. 4 mana draw. Draw 4. Not bad. It could be good, especially mid to late game. It'll be useful, I guess. Especially with your reduction. So with the twins that reduces the card cost on your second spell could be good. Really good one. Snuff Out is a really good reprint. Look up there. All these people have come to make you a gift of their souls. This one you can cast for free. So if you control a swamp, you may pay for a life rather than paying this spell's mana cost. Destroy a target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. So that's a good one. All right, on to the sorceries. Cleansing Nova is a ultimate reprint. It does what it does. Final Judgment, also a reprint. That exiles all creatures. You exile your own stuff as well. I guess it's not so bad if you're using a lot of job select stuff, but losing your commander and stuff like that could be very painful. Rite of Replication. Very Interesting choice of reprint to put in the deck. Create a token that's a copy of target creature. If the spell was kick, create 5 of those tokens instead. Trying to figure out what creature would you really, because a lot of stuff is legendary. What creature would you really want to make copies of? That one's kind of a miss for me. Crux of Fate. They got a lot of board wipes in this deck, but you still have quite a few creatures, so it's not adding up why you want to do that. Vindicate, it's a good one. It's a destroy spell, it's a sorcery, but I mean, I guess it works. Circle of Power. 3 and a black sorcery. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell. This token does 1 damage to each opponent. Wizards you control get +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end of turn. It's mana. It's card draw. It's 4 mana though. That's a tough bargain. Cut a deal. The art works. I don't know why you want to give your opponents more cards though, but I guess you get to draw a total of 4 cards where they draw 1. It's not the worst, I guess, but it's still sorcery speed, not the best. Lingering Souls, another reprint there. Strange as it may seem, the longer I linger here, the less the matter of my epithet concerns me. Sanguinate. Now that's a powerful reprint. We got somewhere with that one. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So if you build up all that mana, it gives you somewhere to put it, and with all the reduction, potential copying, this could be very very useful to ending our game. So as the fight wore on, blood began to soak through his armor, spreading to every m of his body. But when it began to rise and then envelop him as a mist, I realized it wasn't blood, but something dark and twisted. Is guardian citizen. So yeah. And then we have Siphon Mine. 3 and a black. Each opponent discards a card. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. 'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Ranger Agorelt. So that's that deck there. And here's the lands. Like I said, land base is actually really good. Beautiful art. This deck, though, was a little bit more underwhelming than the other ones. I actually expected a whole lot from this deck, and I was banking on it being the most expensive deck. After seeing the cards here, unless I'm missing something, I'm not seeing the true value of this deck though. So I'm a little thrown off by this one. Let's look at some of these tokens though. The hero tokens are full on fire. Like what's name? It's like, oh, let me choose my tokens. So I wish they would have kind of leaned into that more of making more tokens, of doing stuff with the hero tokens, because that seems like the way you want to go. More spells that would kind of get you more of these tokens that really would be pretty effective. Just making 1/1s. And the fact that they did all this art, you would think they would want to showcase more of this. This is beautiful. The hero tokens are great. The Moogles, but yeah, I don't know. This is the token deck, but yeah, and that is it. Cue the victory theme and prepare your party. Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy releases worldwide on June 13th, 2025. Pre-order products now from your local game store, online retailers like Amazon, and everywhere Magic products are sold. So, guys, that is it. That's a long behind stream, but I think it's worth it in the long run. I mean, going through it, hands down, I still am in love with my cloud deck. But now after going through the whole list, the Final Fantasy 14 deck is kind of underwhelming, to say the least. The Wizards weren't as strong as I thought they were going to be, so that's kind of disappointing. And I mean, the drain, I can see this deck being broken apart using both of those commanders to make really strong decks. But as it is, I think it might be one of the weakest decks. The Terra deck actually surprised me. Final Fantasy 6. They have some really good creatures in there, some really good like spell play to kind of get you to where you want to go, because there's a lot of recursion in the deck, a lot of stuff that comes out and does a lot of things to really get you ahead. And then the Titus deck, the Final Fantasy X, the Titus deck is really cool with the summon stuff and the +1/+1 counters. It really leans into the +1/+1 counters, and they literally give you 2 pieces of the ultimate combo. So literally anybody who's buying this deck, your goal is to go and find your free from the real. Get your free from the real. Your deck is pretty much complete, and you just pick and choose what you want to take out. But the deck itself is solid. I mean, probably Yuna will make the better commander for that deck. And then, I mean, you switch out a couple of pieces and you're locked. You're good. And then the Final Fantasy VII deck, which at this point I think is probably going to end up being the most expensive deck, is by far my favorite. I mean, I knew I was going to be in love with it anyways, but the themes and thematics that they have in it, the equipment that they have that's very unique to the deck, the low curve for the equipment, the creatures that auto equip, that help with equipping, and that soul flavor. I mean, they literally gave us a red ninja to give us, like, I talked about this so long ago. I don't know if y'all remember the car ride with me when I discussed a red ninja, and all we need now is a 5-color ninja. Yeah, it's like we can literally do a 5-color ninja deck if they give me an ultimate ninja that we can use as a commander. So that's what I'm waiting for now. When will that happen? Bring it on, Wizard. Let's do it. But yeah, so the Cloud deck by far to me is definitely the best deck, the strongest deck. Yeah, only rivaled probably by the Terra deck, because the Terra deck can force you to sacrifice, because they're not running wide. It runs very insular with big creatures, but you're not going to have but maybe 3 to 4 creatures at a time on the board at most. Whereas the Terra deck is constantly tearing down everybody's deck, tearing down their creatures. I think she wins over in that spot because she's going to be pulling a lot of stuff off the deck, off the field. So you'll lose a lot of creatures. And then the Titus deck, it makes really, really big creatures. But like I said, same thing. If you're having to constantly sacrifice creatures and all that, Terra kind of gets ahead. The only one that kind of wins out there is the Final Fantasy 14 Shion Yostola deck, because she goes wider. But I don't think she's doing enough to really get ahead. So with it all being said, though, it was interesting and surprising to see the decks get revealed today. I'm enamored. I'm super exhilarated. I'm going to play around with the decks myself and see what I like, what I don't like, what I want to take out, because the cloud deck is going to be day one ready to go. We'll see about the other ones. I just know I'm going to get the Final Fantasy VII deck. Everything else is going to be really good. I think the Titus deck is going to sell because of the Walking Ballista. That alone kind of will push people to want to buy it because of the price of that card. It in itself kind of covers the pricing, and the fact that you get 2 pieces of a combo in the deck. So then buy one, spend another $20 and get the other card, and boom, you're locked in. But yeah, but that is it, guys. I am Kelly the Flicker Guy, and that was some Final Fantasy Cross Magic. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope to see y'all next time. The Gathering is in the black. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.